sat here and said that if his baby's mama had been, before she had his children, if she had been in the chat box throwing up egos when I said I'm not going to give birth to a Black child, then she wouldn't have been his baby's mama. And he said that as if it's a badge of honor for her to be his baby's mom. Mm-hmm. You did not make this woman that you had a child with. You didn't feel like she was worthy enough to be your wife. And you're acting like it's a badge of honor to be your baby's mama. That is how degrading these men actually are. And this is normal to them. And I think it doesn't matter how Black women are raising them. This is a part of the culture, because you are not the only person who has influence over how your male children are going to think and feel and believe, and even towards you as their mothers. You have a lot of Black men running around here with extreme disdain for their own mothers. Mm-hmm. I don't have a Black male son, but in all honesty, and I've been saying this, I wouldn't, if I looked around at the Black male collective and I had a Black son, I wouldn't be able to help but think that I'm contributing to it. I'm contributing to the unsafe communities. I'm contributing to the absent fathers, because I know that it's not within my 100% control. And I don't think people understand how strong of an influence the culture of a community has. It is very, very strong. And since Black men are not creating a culture to where children are protected, women are valued, fatherhood is valued, then what is the point of birthing males into that system only so you can have generation after generation after generation of the same exact thing?
an act of kindness. In a lot of ways it is. In a lot of ways it is. To even have to, even think about giving birth to someone that is the seed of a demon, because at the end of the day, that's what's going on. And to be honest, I would suffer to say that I would not be, if I was still out here giving out womb, I was out here in a position to be having kids still, and I wasn't a grandmother, there would be no way I would be risking having a child by a demon, male or female. No. Now, I just wouldn't, because I feel like their female counterparts act the same way that they are, and they are just as dangerous.
What's good, everybody? How we doing today? Hold up. Today's about to be a show, people. We are about to have ourselves a show. But before we go ahead and do that, how we doing with the audio? How are we doing with the audio, people? We about to get into some ish today. And listen. Some of the stuff we're going to talk about, ladies, I don't want y'all to be upset with me, okay? Listen, the last thing Duke wants for y'all to be is upset with me, but I gotta call this out because some of the stuff that I'm hearing from this particular woman and the particular army that surrounds her, I think some stuff needs to be called out and said, because I understand where the confusion is coming from, and we will break all that down and more. So welcome to the stream, people. If you're on your way in, make sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button if you're not already subscribed, and hit that bell notification too, because we coming at you with these lives damn near daily, people. So let's get the show on the road. How we doing, people? DSM Kid in the building. What's up? Shout out to you. Harmony Pill, how you doing? Girl? Nice to see you. Arpanaka, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Tiffany J, Jerry Fisher, how y'all doing today? How are we doing? Duke's hairline's back. How you doing? How we doing, guys? We are about to have ourselves a nice little show. So, how many of you guys are familiar with cynthiag? All right, if you guys aren't familiar with cynthiag, she's one of the godmothers, if you want to call it, of the woman sphere. Okay, they got the man sphere and you got the woman sphere. Sometimes you hear it as the the femosphere, or whatever the case may be. It's the woman side of the manosphere, and it is exactly what you would expect it to be. Pretty much the carbon copy opposite side to the manosphere. At least some of the toxic elements that we see that comes out of these hardliner guys that are in this space right now. And one of the common consensus that we hear about within this women's sphere, right, is there's a certain level of misandry. Okay, and for those of you guys who don't know what misandry is, it's the exact same thing we we conflate with a lot of these guys in the hardline red pill space, which are misogynist. So misandrous is the opposite of misogynist, right? So if you guys, ladies, if you've heard the misogynist term before, well, misandry is just the exact same opposite term, okay? And they spew out a lot of misandry on their platform, talking about basically, it's pretty much negatively towards black men, all right? And one of the main things that we like to talk about here is how the manosphere, and we criticize this too. You can go back in our past videos. We are absolutely guilty of it, and we love it, of criticizing a lot of men in this space, because generally speaking, we do believe that, especially within this space, that black men have a great deal of responsibility in terms of what they need to do to find a situation that works for them, whether it's dating interculturally, interracially, or basically figuring out or learning the tools to deal with the women that they're dealing with right now here at home in the West. If not, try to find other options for you. You're not necessarily tied down to your race. These guys, okay, they take it a little bit further, okay? They demonize pretty much all black men. And it almost seems like when you pay close attention to the space, especially the cynthiags, the godmothers, and the Nylas of the world, right? The Shara Sevens, all these other women that are in this group that spew the space, you will come to find out that there's a whole lot of bitterness there, right? Like I said before, two sides of the same coin. Well, we have a similar bitterness with some of the leaders of the black manosphere, not black manosphere, I'm sorry, the manosphere, as a whole, the women's sphere is the exact same thing. We got a lot of women who are scorned coming into the space, basically spewing a bunch of bullshit that a lot of women are, which is surprising because this woman is pretty big. Like, she's pretty big in that space. It's surprising that a lot of women are sadly feeling the exact same feeling that this lady is feeling right now, which is the scorn towards all men. You go through the comment section. In fact, the video we're gonna break down today, you'll see all of that, where women are just like rah and some of this shit that's toxic against men. So as we do it in the good old fashioned Duke and Don, listen, the way we do it here, we gonna call your ass out too. We don't give a shit. Listen, we call the dudes out too. We gonna call you fake feminine alphas too as well. Hey, listen, you gotta understand what platform you are in, baby. You gotta understand what platform this is, okay? When we see you talking some bullshit, we gonna have to call you out. So recently, I wouldn't even say recently, it was a while ago, but this video started to make its rounds and it's slowly started to resurface itself of cynthiag basically talking about the concept, or at least preaching to her congregation, the concept of abortion of black males, right? And getting rid of pretty much all black males. And to provide proper context, because we want to be that channel that provides all the content in the world, or context in the world, right? So here's the thing, to provide proper context, that we're having a discussion. And this discussion, people, was very important, all right? This is a very important discussion they were having, was the solution to deal with the problematic black men in this in their community, either killing them, which was something that you hear around that space a lot, right? Especially with the women's sphere, particularly the black women's sphere. A lot of these ladies, black men are killing us. They're killing us every hour, X, Y, and Z, all right? So, I mean, there's a whole lot of things there. But looking into that, these guys came out with a video basically trying to talk about the solutions, and one of them, CTG, was trying to convey to our audience, was the abortion or the elimination of black babies. Now we will dive into her reasoning, or lack of reasoning, for coming up with that solution, but they were trying to come up with a solution to deal with the bad black men in their communities. All right, the bad black men who are dating out, the bad black men who are making lives worse, and on top of that, the bad black men who are out here impregnating our sisters and leaving them for Becky's. We gonna have to stand up for them. So that's them dudes over there. So they basically came up with that whole concept, and it really blew up. And when that video came out, when she was conveying that concept to her audience, a lot of guys on the manosphere picked it up. You got the O'Shea Dukes of the world. I don't know if Kevin Samuels commented on it. I don't know if he was pretty big around that time. He probably was. But a lot of these guys commented on it, small creators, big creators, because it was horrible. I mean, what in the hell? Wait, time out. Let me get this straight. All the gymnastics you done, the one solution that you decided to come up with is to eliminate the creation of black males. Right, that's crazy to me, how you would land on that conclusion as a concept. What's even crazier is all the women that were around you who was sitting there applauding this shit like this was the best thing in the world. It's crazy to me. And what that made me realize is that, just like we talk about the scorned men that are in this particular space right now that are making it bad for everybody, right? We gotta pay attention to y'all now. We got to look at y'all, because some of the shit that y'all saying and y'all allowed to get away with, if the roles were reversed, oh my God. Like, talk about the double standards. Like, cynthiag, first of all, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, because it seems like you and the community that you're leading right now, a lot of people that are around you, it seems like y'all got a lot of scorn, hatred in your hearts, okay? I don't know what Pookie or whatever it is, whatever dude you were dealing with in your past that got you to the point where you were so upset to say the nonsense that you were saying. But I'm going to tell you this, you and the army that you're creating ain't doing nothing to help black women. It's nothing but a goddamn space where a lot of these black women who are filled with negative hatreds can come in and vent all these frustrations on black men, or the shitty black men that they've been dealing with, just like you. I see some of the ladies, that Nyla lady and shit like that, right? The men y'all married to and all the other stuff y'all talking about. Y'all sit here and complain of black issues, complain about black problems, and particularly black men, putting all the blame on them without failing to realize that if we walk a lot of y'all logics back to a logical the starting point, realistically, you will figure out that the starting point is y'all, particularly the decisions that you make. A lot of the stuff that we talk about in this channel is personal responsibility. And cynthiag, it just seems like your entire channel is devoid on that. Now, there's certain things that you say that I agree with. Now, no, guys, wait, hold up. hold up before you crucify me. No, none of the bullshit that she's talking about. But when she's talking about the responsibility part on the black man and how certain black men are making single moms out here and doing these different things, I completely agree with that. But but the one thing I disagree is when you saying all black men, right? Just like you, some of you ladies, when you come into the manosphere space, you listen to some of these guys. They talk about all women, all black women, all this, all that, right? Just like y'all don't like that. This is exact same kind of nonsense, cynthiag G. Like you're painting all black men as responsible for the mistakes that you have made in your life, and not just you, all the goddamn women around you applauding that bullshit. And guys, this ain't even the end of it. It goes crazier because a lot of her content just going in, literally, you can tell this woman has a hatred for people that look just like you and me. So we'll dive on in because I understand the confusion where a lot of these ladies are getting a lot of their ideas conflated from. So we'll provide some clarity and also make some valuable comparisons to the manosphere, at least some of the hardliners and some of the gripes that they have or complaints that they have, and then put it all together because I think it's high time, people, that we start having the real conversations to walk us closer. I can't even say it to the straight face. Listen, once you guys watch what this lady is talking about, you wouldn't be surprised about the kind of nonsense that has been going on, like in this space. And I'm like kicking myself in the ass. I have not noticed this shit sooner. Let's go ahead and get into it. Winter, shout out to you, Winter Mint Mojo. Shout out to you for the $10 super chat. For all the complaints that get hurled against the manosphere, one thing no one can ever claim is that any big name content creator has ever advocated for aborting female babies or black otherwise. That is a great that is a great point, Winterman. That's a great point because here's the thing: it's pointing out a huge double standard that exists right now. And you ladies, and you'll see, because like there's a lot of contradicting points that these ladies say. Even the guests that come on here talking about having sex with demons and shit, referring to black men. It's just like y'all are crazy because of the men said the exact same nonsense that came out of y'all mouths. If the men were to say that, you guys would tar and feather them all across this space, all across media in general. I mean, even the comparison, look what's going on with Fresh and Fit right now. Look at the issue going on with Fresh and Fit right now by simply talking about how they don't like date black women, and obviously the way they said it was very tasteless. If you ask me, right? If you ask anybody, it was very tasteless, right? But the way they said it, people already had an issue with it. People were losing their goddamn minds because of the way Myron Gaines and Fresh Prince CEO voiced their preferences against dating a black woman, right? Now you come on this platform and you see what they're fucking saying about dating black men, and if you swapped out black men for black women and you put a black male's face on there, imagine the backlash these guys would be getting. The whole space would be shut down. The whole space would be shut down. And that's the thing. We got to start calling out these double standards, calling out these women, because there's a lot of them undercover that are spewing these hateful messages to a lot of women, and they don't get called out because either A, a lot of dudes don't want to call them out because they're afraid of whatever is to come, or B, a lot of people don't really even pay attention to that space, and they give a lot of women benefit of the doubt. I've watched a little bit more of her content after that one. I've seen content where she's had male guys call in, talk about, I agree with you, black women are everything. Let's say, first of all, y'all dudes out there, shame on you. Shame on you. What in the world? Wait, first of all, time out. You are agreeing with a woman talking about that just got done saying that you don't deserve to exist, right? And you talking about, oh, they're everything. They're the greatest. They're a black woman. Y'all need to stop that sorry shit. Stop that sorry shit right now. Like, human beings are human beings, no matter what race or whatever it is. We're all one race if you really think about it. Right? But human beings are human beings with nothing special. So when you're sitting there, oh, black women, everything, black women, this, you're the exact kind of dude that these ladies are talking about that they don't respect. One thing you got to understand is that women in general, they're starved for masculinity. And especially in the black community, they're extremely starved for masculinity. That's why you see some of these dudes that behave in a hyper-masculine way. In the hyper-masculine way, I'm talking about highly emotional guys that don't know how to control their feelings, right? So if they get angry, everybody's getting it, right? These women, because they're so starved for masculinity and they don't have that experience of dealing with a man, because a lot of these fathers are not in these households to deal with these women and girls coming up, They look at these guys in their neighborhoods growing up acting hyper masculine and confuse that as masculinity. So when they end up dealing with these highly emotional, highly unstable dudes like you call the Pookie and Roy Rays from the neighborhood, guess what? They have these bad experiences that leaves them with a bad taste in their mouth. That's exactly what's happening right now. So for you to take that and bruh, like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's a lot we could go into, we could dive into. But let me just go ahead and get this video queued up real quick because there's some funny shit that she talked about that I'm telling you, man. Y'all just got to hear it for yourself. Y'all just got to hear it for yourself. Let's do this. Let me know if if the audio is working too. Let's see, share screen.
Like, why is my curry gold? Like, I feel like you don't got a lot of gold in it. Have you ever had that where you got a lot of, don't seem like you have actual goat? All over the place.
Hold on. We skipped too far. Yo, this lady's crazy. Like real talk, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like Cynthia G, I know you've been around here for a long time, but somebody's got to let you know that you wilding out right now. That you need some milk. Somebody got to get you some milk. Hold up. And we're not gonna go through this entire live stream.
I don't know if people know or not, but when you deflect to calling people,
we're not gonna go over the entire live stream. I got points here that she was talking about marked out, and we'll go ahead and let it play for a certain bit. Then we'll break down some of those points too as well. But y'all gotta see this, man, because like I gotta make sure I'm not crazy. Hold up, it's like buffering right now. Hang on.
names, that's emotional. I'm talking logical. I'm saying that these men don't serve a purpose to you. They're killing one of us every first. They don't care any.
Pay attention because she uses this facts a lot, right? And I don't know if it's actual facts or not. And the one thing that you'll notice that consistently gets brought up is that she keeps making the point that black men are killing black women like every other hour or so. So I want to know where this statistics came from. First things first, okay? And second of all, I want to know like why she is constantly believing this or spouting this. Has she had any experiences with any black man in her life whatsoever? Like, I want to know, because you don't just say this shit and it not come from a place of hurt. Just like we talked to all the girls out here, all the girls that talk to all the guys when they talk about the stuff, who hurt you? And I think that's a viable question to ask. Cynthia G, we got to ask you the same question. Who hurt you? And all the women that are dealing with y'all right now. And we're gonna walk back your logic because it's crazy.
Anything about the continuity of blackness because they're creating a whole bunch of biracial children. The largest growth was not in the black community; it was among biracial and multiracial people. So they're already doing it. Black men are already erasing you where they can, and that's why I ask people the question: you know, do you think that if black men had the power, do you think that if black men had the power to really control whether we exist or not, do you think that they give birth to us? And now we know men don't give birth, but where they keep, black men are already showing you what they would do. They wouldn't be creating biracial, they wouldn't be creating black children, and they're not. They're creating biracial children. And this is something that I really think black women.
And here's the thing you guys got to understand, because a lot of these women, or the female godfathers, right? The godmothers, as you want to call them, right? A lot of these godmothers in this space, a lot of times they it's crazy the way they rationalize a lot of this stuff, right? The way they don't walk backwards when it's almost like you guys are blaming. That's what it seems like. A lot of the issues that you are having right now, whether you're having with men or whatever it is, you're blaming. When you're saying that black men are already writing black women out of the equation, when you're saying all of that, that's blaming. Even the way you're phrasing that, because you guys control sexual access, and we already know that black men overwhelmingly want to be with black women, but there's something there that's preventing that particular union from happening. Listen, black men in marriage rate is still the same, right? It's just with black men, with black women or black families, it's dropped off the cliffs. So we're still consistent. It's just that the people we're trying to deal with, there's something there that is missing, that is preventing us from unifying with them. It's not because that we're trying to purposely outbreed you. There's no goddamn. I mean, the way you're making it sound is that there's like what do you call Illuminati of black men that are in a dark room saying, okay, we're gonna breed these sisters out. We're gonna breed all of them out. You know, screw the fact that black women are the most successful right now. Screw the fact that black women are most educated. Screw the fact that black women have the most opportunities than in this time period than any other time period in history in this country. Forget all of that. No. We're going to breed them out. Yep. And the way we're going to breed them out is by dating Beckys. Yep, that's right. We're going to be dating Beckys. That's what we're gonna be doing, right? So you're the way you're preaching it, the way you're packaging all of your talking points, it's as if black men, when they're dating out, they're doing it on purpose, completely disregarding the legitimate reasons that men have been complaining about of why they're dating out. Now, personally, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just that's the circumstances of choice. That's what it is. It's choice. Because listen, when you have a lot of options open to you, if a particular woman or a group of women, right, racial group of women aren't doing it for you, go to another group, try experiment in a different group. And one thing I tell guys is, if you go from one racial group to another racial group of women, right, and you're still having the same problems, well, you need to look in the mirror. But what we find when we look out in the major communities at large, a lot of black men, when they move on to other races of women, usually the same patterns don't repeat themselves. So there's clearly something there that is making black men move out. It's not some sinister plot that black men all of a sudden congregated and said, okay, yes, we're going to be breeding out black women. Yeah, yes, we don't want black women to exist. We're already doing this in these different aspects. We don't want black women to exist. Y'all remember what I was talking about in the last stream where I said it wasn't really black men that had the problem with interracial dating, that it was the women? Now, one thing I did clarify, it's not all black women have a problem with this. But the black women that do have a problem with this are women that follow Cynthiag G. Cynthiag G and her whole cohorts of women, they all are the ones that have problems when they see black men date out. These are the kind of women that have been scorned by, particular type of men they've been dealing with, right? They've been scorned by them, done wrong by them, right? But that hatred still comes from a certain place of like attachment. Like they still love whatever particular dude that did wrong to them, but they're hating the fact that maybe the person's life moves on, or they're doing something with another woman or something else. That's why in certain situations, right, a lot of times a woman doesn't flare up until she finds out the guy has either moved on with another chick or something. And in most cases, if the guy has a kid with that particular woman, she usually uses that woman as a freaking weapon to beat her man over the head with, or use as a weapon to try to hurt the guy. So hurt people, and we're looking at women who are hurting other women because they've been hurt by men that they shouldn't have been dealing with. And you watch all of her channels, all of the videos that she talks about, they never take personal responsibility. And when you have callers that call into her show and talk about, well, it's what about us? We choose the guys, right? We choose the guys that we decide to sleep with. She's over there. She just bags on them. She bags on them. Like, no. How can you say X, Y, and Z that it's our choice and this and that? How can you say it when it's these men out here who are leaving us with these babies? Again, if you walk it back, you have to ask yourself two questions. Okay. Are women, first of all, are women really the gatekeepers of sex? First things first, ask that question. And then based on your answer on that question, then you ask, well, are these men that these women, these types of women complain about, that say all men ain't shit, that believe this kind of ideology, the men that you're talking about that are ruining and making baby mamas out of these women, are they taking them? I mean, meaning, are they forcing themselves on these women? Are they taking these women forcefully? If not, then it's consensual, right? And if it's consensual, that means that particular woman who made it possible for that man who ain't shit to have a baby with her because she wasn't thinking properly, then she has some level of responsibility in that situation. And that's what guys are saying. Responsibilities on both sides, okay? It's not just, unless the man is physically taking you, unless that's happening, you are consented to that and you bear some responsibility. A lot of these women in these space don't believe that. They defer a lot of their blame to the men, particularly black men. And this is a problem.
And don't understand. I think you don't understand the critical point that we're at. I think we don't understand the seriousness of it, because black women cannot separate the overall collective of black men from their interpersonal relationships, meaning their family members, their cousins, uncles, brothers. That's why we keep hearing about them. Black men are able to do that. They don't feel like they owe you anything. They don't feel like they're connected to you as a large population. Like, how many times are we going to see in different cities black men putting in work to harm you? And then I'm being told, when I say, well, you have a womb, you control who enters into existence. If these men are not going to raise their children, they're going to leave you single mothers.
Saying your video is lagging for them. I'm not sure. They say it's patchy. It's not patchy for me, but it's patchy for, it seems like the majority of the audience is complaining about it lagging and being patchy.
Yeah, and on my end, it's switched.
You can get that little
the amplifiers.
Yeah, the amplifier. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I just got a whole bunch of stuff. And so, but even the funny thing is, even on the studio side, it says the connection is excellent.
Yeah, that's odd. But I definitely know it's something, because I'm looking through the Zoom and listening to the Zoom, and so it did start to chop a few times for me. So I just wanted to tell you also, it's really interesting, the amount of pushback that's coming back without the without any opposition to men that are derelict and men that are harming women, right? But what's crazy to me is, that I'm seeing, I only got sent a screenshot just recently. Men are some of these men are in support. I'm seeing more and more men, even men that have been loosely affiliated with the Black manosphere, saying abort. I see
of course they are.
2 men.
I want to know who those men are. I want to know who those men are in the Black manosphere space that agree with this bullshit. If that's you, shame on you. You're the exact kind of brothers I'm talking about that got no damn self-respect for yourselves. You are literally agreeing with the woman and the platform that says you don't have a shot to exist, because all the men that they have been dealing with ain't shit, and they don't want to make ain't shit babies. You're a piece of shit. If you're a man and you buy into this particular ideology, you suck. You are horrible. Give me your man badge. Matter of fact, give me your Black manosphere badge. Give me all your badges. Because if you agree with that bullshit, you got problems. You got problems. Like, that's ridiculous. How you would even see that as a viable ideology. And what's so crazy and tone deaf about Cynthia G's argument is the fact that she doesn't realize that Black women, particularly the Black women in the Black community, already abort. They have the highest abortion rates out of any other racial group. Go look at the freaking stats, man. It's so crazy, it's sickening. So we're already one of the biggest population or racial groups that are using this abortion thing to the max, right? We're already doing that, and now you're basically advocating for selective breeding. Okay, fine. Let's say if we walk your logic back, right? And it's okay, fine. We're no longer gonna have Black male babies. Who are you gonna have babies with? Or if you do have babies, you have a bunch of girls. Who are they gonna marry? Who are they gonna breed with? Maybe some of them go off and they have relations with people of other racial groups. But now you have even more biracial kids. But then in your last argument, you said that Black men are trying to breed out Black women by having biracial kids with white women. So is that not the case the other way around? Do you believe that? Because it seems like no matter which way we go, they're going to be biracial kids running around here. So What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? If this isn't pure, unadulterated, hated, and venting of your frustrations and about your experiences with black men on this platform, I don't know what else to call it. Because that's what this is. And everyone else that follows you. And for those of you dudes in this black manosphere space that this lady's talking about that agree with the abortion, shame on you. Maybe you go get rid of your black males. Maybe your line doesn't need to exist because you, people like you, believe that other black males shouldn't. Get the fuck out of here, bruh. That's crazy.
Actually shared an abort message today that like some of these men need to have been aborted. But see, here's my problem with that. Sure, abort, I think, is that abort.
Keep talking while I run upstairs real quickly.
Okay, no problem. I would say that abortion definitely is something that Black women should be considering when it comes to giving birth to these men. And again, I know that a lot of people are looking at it as if it's something horrible, that is genocidal. But at this point, it literally is connected to your survival. There is nothing or no one in place to protect and defend Black women, including Black men.
Again, another argument that I hear, not only a lot of Black women, modern day Black women, but Black women in particular in this space, the biggest argument that I hear is survival. We got to do this for our survival. We're trying to survive out here. And then in other media outlets and other places, they're talking about, oh, Black men don't want to be Black women because Black women are thriving. Black women are more educated. Black women got more degrees. Black women got more money, which y'all do, which all of the stuff is true. But then where is the survival coming from? Where's the survival coming from? What are you surviving? Because it seems to me when I look around and I see all the opportunities that Black women have, and I come over here and I see y'all talking about survival of what? Your own decisions? Yourself? Your lack of ability to trust yourself? Trust the decision you make? Is that what you're trying to survive? Because that's the case, okay then. But don't make it a situation where Black men are out here beating the crap out of Black women in mass numbers. When in reality, it's y'all dealing with the same ain't shit dudes. And it's not all Black women, it's the women that believe this garbage. Like, that's crazy. What are you surviving? Give me one thing in this goddamn country that you already have that you're surviving right now. Name one thing that isn't have directly to do with you. Name one thing right now. Because we want to talk about the men and relationships and single motherhood. If we walk that logic back, then we look at y'all. Then we got to pry in. Because unless the dudes are taking y'all physically, then we have to know it's your choice, right? So if we know it's your choice, that means you're making a decision to not deal with certain types of men that will stick around after you give them a baby. So it comes back to you, not anyone else but you. This is a classic example of skirting responsibility. That's what this is. Like, this is ridiculous. Surviving what? Everything that a lot of you guys are going through right now has to do with you. You are the only constant in your entire lives. I'm talking about Black women who are going through these type of struggles. Because I know it ain't all Black women doing this, going around thinking this way, going and acting and talking this way. I know for a fact. But the ladies who have this kind of particular problem, it's you. You are the only constant. These are your decisions that you're making. The men you're dealing with, they're you. Now, of course, there ain't shit dude out there, and there dudes out there no disrespecting women who got no respect for themselves, who out there killing and shooting each other and doing all these crazy stuff, right? But then you got to walk it back. They come from homes of mothers who aren't raising them properly. When we talk about Black daughters who are coming up behaving in a certain way that are also going in towards influencing thought culture and the culture we have at large, then we got to look at the women who are raising those girls, who are raising the girls to think this way. We got to look at them. When we walk it back, women control culture. We go to the great culture at large, y'all dominate that shit. You guys control it, and particularly Black women. Black women, you have culture. It's y'all. Every industry, corporation right now that exists to cater to you guys. That's what it is. So the fact of the matter is you have all these opportunities, you have all these things, and you're still trying to put the blame on another group. put the blame on another sex, saying it's their fault, not mine, you'll never, ever find fulfillment or happiness in life. And the women that believe in you and the shit that you're talking about will walk down that same path, not knowing what happiness is because they're listening to this bullshit. It's crazy, yo.
Against our biggest enemies and our biggest threats. As we've said time and time before, most of us that have weapons to defend ourselves, we did not purchase those weapons with having the understanding that we were gonna have to protect ourselves from white people. It just is what it is. I was on Black Femicide again, and there was a case that came up that I was actually familiar with, a young girl. If you're from Chicago or that area, you will know that the situation with Ryan Harris, a little girl who I want to say Ryan was 6 years old, but anyway, it was a horrible, horrible situation, and I may do content on it, but he's up for, he's trying to get clemency, right? There are other cases that I was looking into earlier today as I was preparing my content of a man that just went to prison less than 5 years ago for murdering his wife. He's getting out. You know, these men are not willing to protect you from that element. So why would you keep giving birth to that element? Right. Cynthia saying thin the herd is literally a matter of survival at this point, because now even the ones that will carry the message, the majority of the ones that say, okay, go ahead and abort, still, they are leaving it in your lap to make the decision and to be proactive on your own behalf, because those men are not willing to go against, they won't even go against men on YouTube, half these men. So in real life, it's definitely not going to happen. So abortion is a simple act of protection in their minds for them because they don't want to fight against them.
What you're not understanding is that the Black community is already, like, we're already known for the highest rate of abortions right now. We are already known for the highest rate of abortion amongst any other racial group. We're known for that shit. So it's already happening without even needing to blame Black men. So if it's already happening and we've been doing this in major numbers and we're still dealing in a situation where Black women are dealing with ain't shit dudes, then we have to ask the question, why? And then when you break it down, why, it comes down to y'all decision. Y'all are still dealing with the same dudes who are charismatic, know how to talk to you, and know how to run right through y'all. Y'all are dealing with the same dudes. So it's a problem with y'all, not the men, because there's a huge group of guys out there who are trying to figure out why you're leaving them for dudes that ain't shit. This is what the big gripe about that's going on right now in the manosphere space, although some parts of it may be toxic, the big gripe is, why are they leaving good men for guys like that? Why are they leaving guys like me for guys like that that just treat them like shit? We did live streams back to back about women who pray for goddamn good men, but then on top of that, just throw it in the trash as soon as they get it because they miss the thrill of dealing with the bad boy or dealing with the pookie. These are your decisions, every single one of it. Like I said again, unless these dudes are taking y'all physically, you are also complicit in that choice that you're making to lay down with that man unprotected. Every decision you make that leads up to a child, you bear a certain level of responsibility to that. So we can say the man does, but then we got to also look in the mirror. You do too. You laid down with the man that wasn't shit. And a lot of times y'all know he ain't shit, but you still do it. Stop capping, dog. And stop acting like these girls over here don't have nothing to do with it. Just like these dudes go on over here in this space and try to skirt responsibility and put it on the women, y'all are doing the exact same thing. That needs to be called out. That right there is a bogus argument.
No, they don't. And not only do they not want to, know that they're even, is this even gonna make me put this Ethernet cord in here? It's probably gonna make me connect the Ethernet cord. It probably is. I know it's going to. Because even though I'm down here next to the router, it's still, yeah, I'm gonna have to connect the Ethernet cord. And now I really can't be on camera. Now I gotta look for the Ethernet.
She already struggle streaming.
That I have.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. So now I gotta find where I put this Ethernet cord because I don't even know where I put it. Because I don't know why my computer. Thanks for holding it down, Nyla.
No problem. So yeah, I see someone said that they heard about the Ryan Harris situation, but it's not just that. It's like it really is a real thing. They're telling you that these men are dangerous themselves because they don't even want to deal with them. But they want to sit up here and act like they care about fetuses, yet they're not doing anything about the children that are in the community or the men that are in the community. And someone I just read, I forgot, it went that fast. Someone said that it's an act of kindness. In a lot of ways, it is. In a lot of ways, it is. To even have to, even think about giving birth to someone that is the seed of a demon, because at the end of the day, that's what's going on. And to be honest, I would say I would suffer to say that I would not be if I was still out here giving out womb. I was out here in a position to be having kids still, and I wasn't a grandmother. There would be no way.
How many of y'all believe that she's a grandmother to black babies? And not only black babies, but she had those same babies with a dude that she currently has a problem with. Put a 1 in the chat right now. How many of y'all dudes believe that the woman that's talking right now has some serious issues that she has not healed with dealing with black men that she's the mother of right now? Put a 1 in the chat, or 2, she's completely normal and she makes sense. 1 in the chat or 2. I want to know. I want to know, because it seems like this particular woman is scorned. She is scorned. She's basically saying, if I wasn't giving out my womb like I used to, giving out your womb, so you got more than one baby daddies. Is that what you're trying to say? Who you giving out your womb to? And whose fault was that? Whose decision was that? Because it seems like when you were giving out your womb, you were giving out your womb to dudes who don't deserve it. And I know that for a fact because you up here talking this mess. Talking about demons. Demons? Demons? What kind of derogatory shit is that? Don't put all of us in the same group of dudes that you decide to lay down with and had all these kids. When you next time coach your daughters, coach your kids, coach other women. So instead of going out here throwing their wombs around, they understand how to preserve it for the right dude. And that's a big mistake a lot of y'all make. Y'all out here just throwing the wombs around, thinking it's going to lock down a dude or he's going to stay with you. That's nothing. A lot of decisions you make, especially if you ladies out there, it's 110% yours, and you got to own it. And I'm talking about decisions you make, not life circumstances, because we already know life happens. But the decisions you make, like choosing to lay down with a man that ain't shit, that's your choice, and you got to own it. Stop being out here blaming all these dudes for your choice. If the dude you're sleeping with ain't shit, is never going to amount to anything, that's your fault. And that just shows your level. That's literally what it is. Y'all don't realize, here's the thing, when rational guys like me, guys who see this nonsense, who understand that, hey, a lot of y'all are dealing with guys that ain't worth it right now. When we see this stuff, we laugh. We laugh at y'all, and y'all like almost like, it's like, wow, look at this child. Look at this child. This child just put their hands on a burning stove and turned around and blamed the stove for being hot. Make it make sense. Look at this child. That's the way we see it. Because when the good guys look at it, we're looking at it like, oh, shit. So you go over there, you leave us for these dudes, or in certain circumstances, you just willingly go deal with these dudes, right? You're playing with fire, you get burned, and you turn around and put a blanket on everybody. How does that make sense? No, how does that make sense? How do you turn around and put a blanket on everybody from the choices that you made? We're not responsible for that. You chose that man. That's not me. I couldn't force you to stop because that's a problem. He didn't force you to get in bed because that's also a problem. There had to be a mix here, a dynamic. The dude spit mental game and you fell for it. That's just what it was. You folded for the mouthpiece. It is what it is. Most women do. So instead of teaching other women that fall into the same trap with these dudes out here, what to look for and what not to do, you out here say, no, they're killing us. They out here making us single moms. It's their fault and they're all demons. We need to thin the herd. What does that mean? Y'all already 13% of the population with the highest abortion rate out of any other racial group. Thinning what herd? What, where? Where are you trying to trim?
way I would be risking having a child by a demon, male or female. No, I just wouldn't, because I feel like their female counterparts act the same way that they are, and they are just as dangerous.
Yeah, well, the thing is, here's the thing about this being an emotional discussion, because, I've listened to some people on different live stream where they've called in and they're like, oh, it's just such an illogical discussion. And, it's basically saying it's an emotional reaction and we're just angry. And that's why we're saying it. And that's the same shaming language that has always been used to silence Black people. It's actually some of the white supremacist language that has been used to gaslight Black people into not talking about solutions about racism. So I think that's really interesting. But let me plug this into my router, and I'll tell people the difference between an emotional decision and a logical one, because I think there's some confusion over logic versus emotion. Oh yeah, I think that's why. Let me see if I can try, but I don't. Problem is you Black women who are not choosing better. The problem is you Black women who refuse to pick better men. The problem is—
Okay, so this is the part of the conversation or her stream where somebody was she was commenting on a comment where someone was saying, well, isn't it the fault of the Black women, right? Isn't the fault of Black women choosing the wrong guys, right? So why would we sit here and then put all the blame on Black men? Why would we sit here and put all the blame on all these other dudes when we're the one who are having babies with them, right? So she's responding to this comment. We're all BS detectives here, all right? All y'all in the chat right now are natural, or will be natural BS detectives. So put your BS detective hats on right now and pay attention to how she breaks this shit down, all right? And we gonna go ahead and dissect the bullshit. Let's go ahead and watch.
Is you Black women who just don't want to play your role. You don't want to submit. You don't want to let them lead, yada, yada, yada. That's what they think the problem is. The problem is not them, to them. And if you're not a problem, or your behavior is not a problem, then you're not going to change it. You don't change what's not problematic. So the bottom line of it is Black men are not going to change. They're not.
Well, there's no reason for them to change. Like we see what they say, that they're not worried about it. They know that largely Black women are still going to deal with them, which, I mean, that's just a fact, right? But there is no reason to do it. There is no reason. Black women are not requiring better for them. And here's the thing. This is why I don't like discussing even healthy relationships between Black men and Black women. Because, to be honest, and I know people are going to.
You can't wait. You can't wait till the stream's over. You got to have your meal right then and there. Look at this. Come on, bro.
Take issue with this, but I'm just going to have to give it to you raw and uncensored. Okay? Regardless of the fact of how many of us are in relationships or who have had, great experiences with Black men, with our Black fathers, whatever, your Black son, whatever, right? I don't want to misrepresent anything or give you hope. I don't want to give you hope because I don't want you to be disappointed, because what I'm seeing more often than not is that men are interested in protecting and covering for these behaviors that are harming you. I would rather, I even said that I was going to stop even defending myself when women come to attack me because they need me to be in a bad situation. I would rather Black women feel like they feel completely and get a true picture of what Black men are. Because if you don't, then you may misunderstand the reality like I did for many years. I did not know that Black men were this bad to women. I did not know. I didn't know it was this bad. I thought it was the opposite. I thought it was just a little of them that were acting out and that were doing these egregious things. But no, it's the majority of them. And I don't want to give you hope. I don't want to give hope.
But that's why I'm leaving it open for people to tell me what the solution is. So let me read these super chats and then I'm going to open the phone lines. Sandy Wendy said, if a married woman doesn't birth a son in Nigeria, she is persecuted and harassed. A Nigerian man kidnapped his own son and used him for blood rituals at the instruction of his pastor. It's global. Yeah, look, I mean, listen. Anyway, Patience Curtis, thank you so much. She said, be sure to discuss John Matthews in Chicago. That's
intellectual aptitude, right? But let me human you for a second. When I said demon seed is demon seed, whether it be female or male, understand this. Yes, you have a better chance of raising a productive person if you give birth to a Black female child. This is true. However, you also have a greater chance of you do understand where that person is coming from. You do understand where that person is coming from and the types of women that are their counterparts. Okay, because some of those women are gonna give birth to 10 of those demons.
Yep. Well, because you can only produce what you are, right? So if you're a demonic entity, that's what you're going to reproduce. It just is what it is. But so
look at they're literally demonizing Black men. Y'all, they are literally demonizing Black men. Talking about demon seed. What is this? And then what they're gonna do is pull up some bullshit ass freaking stats, right? Of where I mean, from CNN, we already know how they roll, right? So she's gonna put up some stuff with CNN, and she's gonna try to make the argument of how Black males are undercover white supremacists. Like, the hatred has gone so freaking far. This is where we've come to. Black men are you're literally demonizing Black men, and then we talk about your what about your sons, right? What about your fathers? What about all these other men who are influential in your life? Are they demons too? Are you a demon because you came from a demon seed? Like, what is going on? This is pure unadulterated hatred. I don't know what else to call it. But if you want to talk about like female hatred, this is what it is.
For the people who are confused, I want to bring your attention to this article here. I really want you to look at this article. And the reason I want you to look at this article, because Black people, like, again, critical mass. This was written on September 4th, 2021. You can just look at the imagery right here, and it's already showing you most people are not going to be Black. Most of the people here are not going to be Black. And they're going throughout the history of how other groups like the Italians and the Irish became white, how the Jays essentially became white by status, how Asians are actually white, but whatever, they call them honorary whites, they're actually white, but sure. So they said literally people who identify as multiracial increased by 276% over the last decade. 276%. And what they're in here telling you is that people predict, they said the US is barreling towards becoming a rainbow nation around 2045. Rainbow is not Black. Biracial is not Black. Mixed is not Black. Multiracial is not Black. So people can sit up here and they can try to lump biracial people in there just because right now their racial classification is Black, but they're still not Black. They're not Black. And society knows they're not Black. They know that they're not Black. So they said when white people are projected to become a minority. Now, if you read through this article, and I'm not going to, this part I gotta read you. I gotta read you this, because this is what Black people do. It says, I don't like raising such a pessimistic scenario, in part for personal reasons. I want to believe my country is on the verge of this brown new world where there will be such a rich gumbo of skin hues, hair textures, and racially ambiguous people that racism will lose its sting. My family is a symbol of these demographic changes. My mother is Irish, meaning white. My father was Black. My wife is an immigrant from Central America with a biracial mother and a white Lando father, meaning he's white, who was a J, and Castilian. My stepmother is Chilean, and half of my siblings are Afro-Latino. Now, we know J-Lo said she was an Afro-Latino, and we know she's a whole entire white woman with 2 white parents. That chick in that video, that so-called feisty Latina that was clearly a white Latina, in the comment section, they was calling her an Afro-Latina. There's nothing Afro about her. He said, I have one relative with blonde hair and blue eyes who moved through the world as a young white man, but he's really Afro-Latino. You ain't Afro-Latino with blonde hair and blue eyes and white skin. You're not Afro anything. If you
Here's the problem with these kind of arguments, right? Especially when we start to try to figure out who's Black and who's not. You live in a melting pot where people will intermix because there are other groups there. That's inevitable, first of all. So this right here, this stat is not surprising. Human beings have been mixing since the dawn of human beings. Like, we've just been mixing, just like most white people have certain levels of Neanderthal DNA with flowing through their veins. That's just what it is. People are a mix of different things. So when we're having this argument of, okay, this person here, they're from this region, so they're not really black, but this person here, they're black. What is black? Because you got to now ask the question, what's black? What does black meaning? Because you can have someone who's black and they could be a Native American. You can have someone who's black, they could be Mexican. You can have somebody who's black, they could be Italian. You can have somebody who's black, they could be from South America. Like, what is black? What is black? Now, are we going off of skin? Like, what is black? You got to ask that question now. Because then they can, based on your answer to that question, then I got to dive a little deeper. Then what's black culture? Like, what is specifically black culture? Are Nigerians black, or are they different? Like, what are we talking about here? Black people comes in, we're all different shades and sizes, bruh. That's just what we are. We're not, this is crazy logic. This is crazy logic. Because if you break it down, what are black people? What are black people? I mean, none of this makes any sense. Like, her arguments don't make any kind of sense whatsoever. I'm literally having a brain fart right now, just trying to have her try to rationalize this goddamn CNN article and try to make it seem like, and watch, guys, she's going to turn this article to make it seem like that it's the black man's fault for interbreeding with all these other guys. And it's the reason why we're having all these mixed race people coming around here. And then she goes as far as to say that there's a lot of dark-skinned people with harboring racism in their hearts. This is crazy.
You can move through the world as a white man. You are Afro nothing. It just is what it is. Now, I don't know how much y'all think y'all black DNA is about to survive anything. It's not made of Teflon. It can be washed out, and it is being washed out. The 2020 census could have used my family portrait for a poster.
The black DNA is a dominant gene. It's not a recessive one. Meaning, if a black person were to interact or intermix with any other racial group, that particular offspring will have some color to them. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we all have a little bit of color. We're all mixed with something. There's no pure anything. Like, what are you advocating for, bro? Like, a lot of your low-key, a lot of your ideologies, they're starting to borderline some Marxist, kind of like some Hitler bullshit. Like real talk. Like, that's what it is. Like, if I wanted to take a group of people, or particularly a gender, and then turn them emotionally against another group, this is how I would do it. This is how I would lay everything down. Use these different types of propaganda to make my case. Like, you don't make any sense. And all these women who are following you, it just shows that there's nothing logical out of here. This is just all emotional arguments. That's all what this is. Harney Bill, shout out to you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. She says, exactly, Duke. People troll me and tell me I'm not black all the time. The stupidity of it is irrelevant. Argument is beyond words. Yeah. No, real talk. Like, I'm confused. Like, what is black? And then they'll break it down. Well, you know, it's our culture. It's our what? For what? We're in a melting pot. We're in a country that's a melting pot. I'm gonna tell you this. A lot of you black folks out here, especially living in the U.S., this is going to start hard. But you need to take this down and, I don't know, wash it down, whatever pill you guys take it with. But y'all don't got culture. Black people don't, especially in the U.S., you don't have culture. Because then if you do, my rebuttal is, what is it? Is it the music? Is it the booty shaking? Because you trace that comes from different parts of Africa. You can also find elements of that in Brazil and all these other countries. Then I have to ask you, what's black? Are they not black people because they're not from the U.S.? Like, what are you talking about? Black people come from different walks of life, from different worlds, different continents, different countries, different cultures, different ethnicity. We look different, but we're all over the world. Like, what are you talking about? You stop trying to exclusive anything. Appreciate it, Harmony Pill. Appreciate it. Like women like these, they don't get it. That's how you can tell a lot of the arguments come from emotional. So I want to get to the point right here where she talks about when she tries to make that argument, then we'll skip further into the call-ins because some of the callers tried to call her out and it just gets crazy. It gets crazy. Some of the rationale she uses and the contradictions. Y'all gonna see all of that in a second here.
There is a yearning embedded in my DNA that a demographic tide will overtake white supremacy. Again, Black people think they can just create mixed people and white supremacy will disappear. And they're telling you, no, you're just about to experience white supremacy with the tan, which is what I've been saying for years. That Black men are creating white supremacists with a tan. And you can literally look at the mentality of their biracials to see that they would have no problem at all.
Black men are recreating white supremacy with a tan. That's what this woman just said. Black men are recreating white supremacy, people. I don't think y'all heard me. I don't. Dude, my brain just broke, dog. I think my mind just fucking broke. Like, and I can't. What's worse, that people buy into this shit. She just said that Black men are recreating white supremacy with a tan. So what are Black women doing with white men? Are they recreating white supremacy too with the tan? Are they submitting to the white supremacist order? Is that what it is? Because you're trying to make this argument like it's a one-way argument, not knowing that we can turn this against you, child. Like, what are white women who are dating out? What are they doing? What kind of babies are they making? Are they making white supremacists with tans too? Like, look at the nonsense coming out of this lady's mouth. But that's crazy. Like, you are for real crazy saying that nonsense. And this is why a lot of Black men, when they see this crap, you think that it make them want to come to you? They want to come to Black women thinking like this? First of all, let's even dive even further. Is this a healing, healthy mentality to have? Like, none of this is healthy. This is all hurtful shit.
Being white supremacists, none. So while Black men are out here harming you and killing you every 6 hours, not protecting you, leaving you single mother.
Pay attention to that. The killing you every 6 hours, which I want to know where you got that stat from. Those of you guys who are BS detectives in the chat right now, let me know where she got that stat from. Where's that stat coming from? Where Black men are killing Black women in such an alarming rate that it's happening every 6 hours. Where did that happen? And I want to know what kind of Black men are these types that are killing Black women at such an alarming rate every 6 hours. I want to know. Then I want to know, why are these particular women dealing with said Black men that are killing them every 6 hours? I want to know that too. Like, what are we talking about here?
Others not raising their children, creating white people, because that's what they become in 2 generations. My great niece is white with blonde hair and blue eyes. Black women are sitting up here debating whether they want to give birth to literally their terrorists or not. You sitting up debating, they ain't debating, they doing it. They're doing it. And saying no sex before marriage isn't going to solve the problem. That's not going to solve the problem. Because Black men been making married single mothers since they stepped off the plantation. Did you guys miss it when I read the Moynihan report? And they said the typical mother on welfare, the typical single mother on welfare was married and she did not know where her husband was. He was not deceased, but she just didn't know where he was. They've been doing this since they walked off the plantation. So saying
hold up. Oh, hell no. Time out. First things first. If you're a married woman, meaning you are married, meaning the man made the conscious decisions to wife you up. If you're a married woman and you can't find your husband, that's a big problem. All right. And the fact that she's trying to make it seem like all Black men, like she said, the typical Black men in the Moynihan report that she read, which now I got to revisit that report. The typical the married Black man or Black woman couldn't find her husband. That's what she just said. She just said where are you getting these stats from? And this is what I call brainwashing. This is what I call brainwashing. This is what I call shifting blame. Listen, you're crazy. To believe something like that and just to hear that coming out of your mouth, you're crazy. And the thing is, if we're going to get on Fresh and Fit, for talking crazy like that, how they were talking about, we also got to call this shit out. Because that'd be looking crazy if we're coming on and jumping on Fresh and Fit. Women are jumping on Fresh and Fit. Just about every other platform is jumping on Fresh and Fit. And we got crazy. Look at her. Look how crazy this woman is looking right now. Look at them eyes. This woman is the kind of woman that'll cut off your balls while you're sleeping. Guaranteed, bro. She got them eyes. And she leading an army of other women that'll do that same bullshit. Like, what? Where are you getting these stats from, dog? Just like we talk about all these unnecessary bullshit statistics that a lot of these dudes use to try to paint single mothers in a bad light, to try to paint women with tattoos or all these type of hypergamy type of nonsense. Just like we get on them, where do you get this nonsense from? I want to know, because you out here poisoning a lot of black women, and it's dangerous. Where in the hell did you get this?
All this, get married. What does a marriage mean to black men? What does it mean to him? You think because you get married, all of a sudden he's going to become an honorable man? No, he's not. He doesn't care. Black men violate their marriage vows all day, every day. They have no problem leaving you a married single mother. They've been doing it more than they've been being husbands.
Okay. Let's follow that logic. How many percent, what is the percentage of women right now that are leaving their marriages? Hey, matter of fact, let me ask the chat. What is the percentage of women? We're not even going to just do black women, but let's just women as a whole, right? Leaving their marriages. What percentage, if you guys were to say it? And then let's double down. In the black community, for those of you guys who aren't black in the chat, right? It's cool. But let's dive it down a little bit. What is the percentage of black women that are leaving the relationships? Put it in the chat right now. Let's put a guess in. Some of y'all saying 70. Some of you guys are saying 80 of women. So where are these men who are leaving married women with kids in droves? Where are they? Where are they? Because you conveniently left that stat out. I see you talk about stats. Yo, black men are murdering black women. It's every 6 hours. We're dying. It's all about survival now. They kill us every 6 hours, yo. It don't matter. We control the economy. We control the educational system. No. It doesn't matter about that. They're killing us every 6 hours. Okay, but you conveniently leave out the fact that a lot of y'all are the ones leaving the relationships. Look at the chat. 70, 80%. Even the women, 70, 80%, they know. So what are we, Cynthiag G, what are we talking about? Cynthiag G, level with me. Who hurt you? I gotta ask, baby. Who hurt you? Because you acting mighty crazy right now. You acting like a scorned, hurt woman. Like, what is wrong with you? 80% of y'all leaving a relationship. And you ask out of those 80%, the reason? Irreconcilable differences. What does that mean? Meaning you can't get along with the person. Meaning there was something there that you just couldn't work out with and you had to leave. So you took your ass and left. And a lot of times when you take your ass and leave, the kids go with it. Don't sit here and spew this bullshit that it's a man that's doing all this garbage when it's y'all. It's clearly y'all. When a black man gets married, he typically doesn't leave. And it almost seems like y'all don't understand the gravity of what marriage means. And it shows in your freaking statements. You don't understand the gravity of marriage. Because when a man decides to marry you, because that's something that we control. Y'all control the sex. We control the marriage. When we decide to get married, right, while we're in a relationship, because that's an equal consent, right? We both got to be in a relationship, but only he controls when he takes it to the next level. So when we're thinking about that, we know that's a big enough commitment in itself. Why would we willingly walk away from that? And not only that, you seem to miss the part where society holds the men responsible when they make them single moms, especially if they're married. It's called alimony. It's called child support. This stuff exists. Matter of fact, they've existed and they haven't even been changed since the original time they've been started. Those laws have not been changed to adapt to the modern times of y'all making more money, particularly black women as a whole. Y'all are making more money than black men as a whole, right? Y'all are spending more in the economy than black men as a whole. So what are we talking about?
It just is what it is. It's either, bitch said, the radiation all around the globe is getting worse and they don't have something called eumelanin, which is a protector, and only Black people have it. That's why they want to mix you with them to survive. That ain't just the only reason, though. That's a very easy way to get rid of you. They've been doing that. It's an effective and easy way of getting rid of you. And Black men don't care because they ain't trying to be Black anyway. They want to be white. They want to be white anyway. That's why they're running around here with blonde hair and blue contacts. But we ain't gonna say they want to be white men, though. I was just watching a video. I was in a nail salon and I was watching a video, and it had Chris Brown and Young Dirk or somebody else like that. And this dude is sitting here with blonde hair. And I'm like, okay, we've been hearing Black men talk about Black women wearing weave and blonde hair is an indication of them wanting to be white women. So are we going to ignore all these Black men with skinny jeans and blonde hair in their head? Are they not trying to be white men?
Exactly. Can we really talk about it?
Hold on.
Like, we don't
hold on.
They're wearing contact lenses again. I didn't think people were doing that. They're wearing gray and blue
Stop
contact
talking.
lenses.
Stop.
They're coloring
Stop.
their hair
Stop
blonde.
talking,
They're wearing
y'all.
skinny jeans, wedding dresses,
Mhm.
Oh my God,
hidden
bro.
heels.
She won't
They're
stop.
advocating
I'm
for
trying to pause it.
relationships with men.
Hold up.
Like,
Hold up, people. Hold up.
They want to be white men
Hold
yeah.
up.
badly.
And if anything, when it comes to Black women, they want you to be them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Hold
mean,
up,
I
this
think
thing
they
is
want you to be
lagging.
their husband or their roommate. Because most
Hold
of
up.
these men are
I gotta
asking
move this off the stream real quick. I gotta move this off the stream. Hold up. Hold up. This is like.
why they
Hold
come
up.
with
Hold up.
instructions.
Hold up. I gotta get this off the stream because it's still playing. She just couldn't stop. Black men want to be white? Like, what are you talking about? No. What in the hell are you talking about? No. It's you guys. It's you guys. When Black men say they don't like the weaves, they don't like all these extra shit that you're putting on, these long blonde ridiculous hairs and all these different things. When they say that, y'all are still doing it. Thinking, no, that's what y'all want. No, it's what you guys want. And now you want to flip the script and say, no, Black men want to act white because they wear skinny jeans. Everyone wears skinny jeans. It's called a trend. It's called a fashion trend. Everyone wears it regardless of race. Where do you see Black men wearing blonde wigs at? Where do you see Black men wearing blonde wigs? That doesn't happen. Like, what argument are you making right now? Francine Wilson, shout out to you. Thank you for the super sticker. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what is this? Like, do you hear yourself? It's y'all. You guys are the ones that are trying to act like the other races. If that wasn't the case, you guys wouldn't be wearing your hair like that. You guys wouldn't be acting in certain manners that'd be indicative of showing the fact that you're jealous of the other race and you want to be that. That's just what it is. And I'm not saying all Black women, just the women that do this. Literally, it's y'all. And y'all gonna turn around and say it's our fault that this is what we want. Anybody want that? Listen, when Black dudes see long blonde hair that we know that ain't yours, y'all look ridiculous. Like I don't know if y'all know this, and y'all probably won't. But just a moment of honesty, real quick. All right, I'm gonna give you guys a moment of honesty, and that moment of honesty is when a Black man sees y'all like that, we don't see that as attractive. Y'all may think that y'all look attractive just because you're comparing yourself to the Beckys that y'all secretly want to be like. I'm talking about the women that do this, not the women that dress naturally, right? The women that do this, we think y'all look ridiculous. Yep. Mm-hmm. No, we think all y'all that do that shit, the blonde weaves and all that, we think y'all are ridiculous. Matter of fact, some of y'all with these red hairs and things like that, you're a walking advertisement of something not going wrong with you, something not going right in your life. That's basically what it is to us, right? Now, listen, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, that's just the message. I know your sisters ain't gonna tell you that because y'all in the same circles. All right, I know most brothers ain't gonna tell you that because they trying to smash. But real talk, y'all look ridiculous. When you're out here wearing and dressing anything outside of your way, we know you guys are. Y'all look ridiculous to us. So why are you trying to? What are you saying that Black men are doing this? Because we're wearing skinny jeans, we're undercover races, and we secretly want to be white? That's not how it is. That's not how that shit works. Flo Holiday, shout out to you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Black man of the chat, did you fulfill your every 6 hour duty today? They really believe this crap too. Yeah, like I was shocked, dog, when I heard. I'm like, whoa, time out. Who is killing black women every 6 hours? Where are the black men killing sisters every 6 hours? Where is this happening? Because this would be all over the news. This would be everywhere. Where are you getting these stats from? I want to know. Because the black men y'all talking about ain't the black men I hang out with. Ain't the black men that are in these in certain industries trying to better themselves, trying to move up in the world. Then them dudes just trying to find a woman they can settle down with. Them dudes are just trying to be happy. So when I'm hearing this, I'm like, where'd you get your stats from? Where'd you do your research? Because this is bullshit. It's every 6 hours. You crazy. You got some screws loose, lady. Like real talk. You got some screws loose. Let's get back into it. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio too.
They really do. Because I mean, at this point, okay, so they've not been able to be held fully accountable for what they've done. And every L that black women are holding currently, I am willing to give to black men, right? But once you know.
You guys heard that, right? Make sure your BS detector hats are on right now. She said every issue, every L that black women are taking right now belongs to black men. If that isn't the definition of skirting responsibility, I don't know what is. You literally just sat here and said every L that black women are holding right now, you're pushing it on black men. So the black women all of a sudden don't have agency. They don't have personal agency in decisions they're making, right? So, and effectively, you're saying that black women are children. That's what you're saying. You're saying that women are children. That's the argument that you're making. Because you can't just tell me that grown adults out here making decisions that they can't be responsible for. You can't tell me that. Because you sound like a clown. That's what you sound like, a pure, unadulterated clown. Because how dare you come on here and say that women are children? Women can't hold their own responsibility. Like a lot of the L's that they're taking right now, it's not their fault. It's the man's fault. That's that's the argument when you make when a child's in trouble. You blame the parents. That's the kind of argument you have in here. That makes no sense. Women are not children. They're adults, and they're adults from the moment they hit 18 years old. And when they hit 18 years old and they go out to college and they spend time in the real world, whatever happens, it's up to them. And they have to take the teachings of their parents with them. Whatever teachings that they had at home or lack thereof, they have to go out in society and replicate. So if they're fucking up, that goes back to their houses. And it goes back to them. It's not the fault of anyone else but them. Like, what are you talking about? You sound dumb. You sound like a clown. You sound like somebody who literally shouldn't be teaching women shit because you're teaching them how to not take accountability for the decisions they make. That's what you're saying. Crazy.
Oh, once you're awake, once you understand it, once you see.
Nah, girl, you sleeping.
Once you see the results of what they've left you, why you have to be responsible. Of course, in a perfect world, I would say don't even sleep with them. But if you are going to sleep with them, definitely try not to put yourself in a position to be giving birth. Like it's a sad situation.
What do you think God, hold up. Oh God. What do you think guys have been saying this entire time? Like, what do you think we've been saying this entire time? Listen, protect yourself, ladies. No matter how much he sweet talks you into saying, oh, baby, it feels good without it. Baby, you know I love you. Baby, I'll give you the world. You know I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. Or, baby, we going to have the best of babies. I'm going to be here and take care. I don't care what sweet language he tells you. If you know that man ain't going to be there, if you know for a fact that you're not ready, you shouldn't be putting yourself in a position to be having unprotected sex or even a position to be sleeping with them in the first place. That's on you. We've been telling you that this whole time. That's an argument a lot of these guys in the manosphere that we say that they complain too much of. And real talk, y'all do, because it's enough telling these ladies what's up. Because in the end, they're going to turn around and be saying this bullshit. And to be fair, not all of them, but the harpies that believe this shit right here, right? We've been telling y'all, pay attention to who you're dealing with and don't have babies with them. That's it. If you're going to have babies with them, just make sure they're the right dudes for you. That's it. You're making our argument for us, trying to blame us. That's not the case. If you're going to have babies with them, just make sure they're the right dudes for you. That's it. You're making our argument for us, trying to blame us. That's not the case. If you're going to have babies with them, just make sure they're the right dudes for you. That's it. You're making our argument for us, trying to blame us. How? Like, make it make sense. How are you trying to blame us for basically saying what you just said? Like, make it make sense. That don't make sense at all. This is what we've been saying. Stop dealing with dudes. Be more selective. We agree with you. I agree. Be selective. Most women should be. Actually, most women should be more selective than the guys. You guys are, but in the wrong ways. Black women look for hyper-masculine black males because they don't have experiences with real black men. And I say most, not all, most. The ones that we have out here perpetuating the thought culture we have, y'all don't have experiences with legitimate men. That's why y'all flock to entertainers. Y'all flock to our athletes because they display hyper-masculinity. You guys confuse that as being a man. You confuse that as masculine traits, but it's not masculine traits. That's why when the guys who display real traits and real relationship skills that will be that person that treats you well, they're out here like, yo, what the, where are all these ladies at? I'm the good guy. Like, why they leaving me for these bozos? Why they leaving me for these goddamn trash people? Like, what's going on here? That's the reason why the manosphere is here. A lot of the reason is to explain the reason why y'all ladies make these damn decisions with these damn dudes. Like, why is it that after she leaves me, she's over here making a baby with a bum? Why is it that after I gave her everything, she's going towards a guy that's giving her nothing? Matter of fact, he's doing worse. He's out here beating the mess out of her. There are too many black men in this world, in this country specifically, who are good, who are going through this exact same situations, and you can find majority of them in this space. Look around you in the manosphere space. Look around you, the guys who are jaded. They're jaded from dealing with women who went on to start dealing with all these other dudes who fucked them over to go deal with all these other dudes who, by in turn, end up fucking said ladies over who end up coming to this channel talking about, oh, y'all dudes are the problem. Meanwhile, we sat here and watched y'all actually make the decisions that led to your own downfall right here. What are you talking about? Take responsibility, dog. That's you. You.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so now my connection should stop being choppy because, yeah, because I have connected to the connected, but I don't think I could turn on my camera though. I mean, I could try. Let me see if I can try, but I don't think that.
Well, the connection sounds better.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I guess I can a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess I can be on camera like this.
Yeah.
Graphics and corn rolls. Shaking my damn head. Grodman too, thank you for the super chat. Let me try to make sure. 76%. And what they're in here telling you is that people predict, they said the US is barreling towards becoming a rainbow nation around 2000. I'm asking you, caller, this is why the show is titled the way it is. If that's not the solution, then what is? What is, because we can't stay the same. You do know staying the same is not sustainable either. They're knocking one of you off every 6 hours.
Again with this bullshit argument. Where are the black men killing the sisters every 6 hours? Where are these black men at? I want to know so I could take up arms. Where are they? I'm going to strap up too. I'm going to go find these dudes. You just let me know where they are. You can't find them. It's bullshit. It's more victimhood. There's the problem with ladies like this. Ladies like this, they spew victimhood and feel-good nonsense on their platforms to get other women to buy into this bullshit. Where are these black men killing y'all in droves? Where? Like, what are you talking about? So now, while she's doing this, right, while she's having this call in and we're going to be listening to it, I'm going to be paying attention to the chat. I want y'all in the chat right now, okay? I want y'all in the chat right this particular, hold up, let me get my mug back in here. Hold up. let me know right now what the solution would be, right? Because she's trying to make the argument that black women closing their legs and being more selective isn't working, right? Which I don't believe y'all are doing that at all. Y'all ain't doing that, period. There's no selection going down there whatsoever, right? Black women who are already aborting babies in a large, overwhelming numbers versus other racial groups, that's apparently not working, right? But then the solution is to specifically abort black male babies. That's your only solution out of all of this. The only thing you would have come up with is abort black male babies. And now the solution you're asking your callers is, what else is there if not for that? So I'm going to ask you guys, the natural BS detectives in the chat right now, to let me know what other solutions to make sure that black women aren't dealing with ain't shit dudes, right? What other solutions would you guys have in the chat? And I'm going to read the best one now. I'm watching. Let me know while she's explaining this right now to her audience.
So what is the solution?
Sure.
Right. So what's the solution?
I believe that the solution is being more selective. I think a lot of women are having babies by Dusties, and then they're raising Dusties. The Dusties aren't around, and then you have a whole another generation of black males with no fathers. So when you look at the men, you cannot look at the men without looking at the women.
Sure, you
cannot do it.
Why can't you? All right, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
Listen to how this caller is basically trying to dismantle her freaking argument. You can't have this. You can't just blame black men without blaming the women. And then she says, why can't you? That was her response. Why can't you? In the straightest, unfazed face whatsoever. Why can't you just blame the black men without blaming the women? Like, the fact that came out of your goddamn mouth, and you a grown-ass woman. You are a grown-ass woman saying this shit right here. That's wild to me. That's incredibly wild to me.
Wait, are black women abandoning their children?
Absolutely not.
Are black women causing the crime in the community?
Absolutely not.
Are black women inappropriately touching children, all of the black women, before they even reach teenage years?
Yes. Yes. I can tell you right now how many artists will talk about stuff like that. I can tell you right now how many other children who grew up in neighborhoods where their aunties did something to them. I can tell you stories of many kids in a black neighborhood right now where their mama's friends did something to them. I could tell you stories right now of kids in the neighborhood growing up where older women in neighborhoods doing something to them. It's just that those stories don't get out as much as the women doing stuff, as the men doing stuff to the girls. This shit happens.
Absolutely not.
Are black women in the gangs?
No.
Right. So then you agree that there's more of a critical issue with the men, not the women, then, right?
Okay, let's break this down a little bit. Because everything she's listing are black women in gangs, are black women leaving in droves, are black women doing X, Y, and Z, all these different things. If you guys aren't directly responsible, the role leads back to you. And let's break it down, because if we're gonna say, okay, black men being in gangs, then black women, right? Okay, that's fine. I'll agree to that. But then who fathered and mothered those same black men and that are in those gangs right now, right? And what particular household do they come from? Then you go back and you look at the statistics. Overwhelmingly, a good portion of them come from single parent household. And you say, what kind of parent? Well, single mother household. Then you pay attention to that. Then realize that it becomes two different situations where the mother was in a situation where she was dealing with a good man, but she left for her reasons, or she was dealing with the ain't shit dude and the dude left. That's literally what it deals with. Either way, if the father's not in the household and it's y'all, then I gotta dig deeper, because it seems like y'all like to talk about on both sides of your mouth. On one hand, in social media, black women are the greatest moms in the world. You can't question them. You can't do anything about that. Black women are the best moms out there. You can't say nothing about it. Don't you dare question a black woman's parenting. And then you break it down further, then you're going to find out that these same women aren't raising their daughters to be wives, aren't raising their sons to be husbands. They're raising their sons to feed into the same prison industrial complex. That's what you're raising your kids. And you won't sit there and try to make all these BS kind of comparisons. What are you talking about? We're both equally to blame, but if you really want to narrow it down, it's y'all. If you really want to narrow it down, it's y'all. From the moment of choice all the way down to carrying the baby to term. That's all yours. All of it. From the moment that seed gets into you, but even before that, you have to take agency. So to come here and make this argument and say you can blame the black men without blaming the black women, that's crazy. You sound like a loony.
Yes.
Right. So then, right. So can we stay stuck? Can we, because right now we're already talking about what women should do. We're already talking about, the topic of the discussion is about what black women need to do about the problematic black men. See, because everybody wants to go into choosing better. Oh, well, you got to look at the black woman. But then when the black woman says, okay, well, I'm just going to close my womb off. Then you say, oh, well, no, that's genocide. What do you mean? We cannot give birth to black men. If that is her solution as a black woman, if that is the way that she wants to take accountability.
Closing your womb off isn't a viable solution. That's not what it is. It's being selective ultimately. What is shutting your womb off gonna do to anybody? That means the next person is gonna move on to the next thing. I mean, what does that even mean, shutting your womb off? That's not what they mean. They mean being selective with your womb. Instead of throwing it every which way, be selective with it. Like, how do y'all be the most high standards when it comes to dating? Y'all have all these standards, but yet can't differentiate between a good man and an ain't shit dude. Like, make it make sense. How y'all supposed to be the most educated, the most smartest, have the most money in the economy, but can't tell when somebody's bullshitting you? Like, make it make sense. Are you children or are you adults? Are you independent or are you dependent children? Like, what are you making here?
Why are you saying we need to talk about the women? We are talking about what we need to do. We're doing that now.
When you answer that, can you also answer, does it not infantize them, kind of like what the last caller is doing? I don't understand why everybody tries to infantize them, like instead of focusing on their accountability. I do think that that's problematic, and it's kind of enabling why we see this behavior in mass, right? Is because we're always trying to pass the buck. So are we saying that they need to operate in full manhood, which puts them at the ultimate responsibility and accountability? Or are we infantizing them, which is the current state of the community, which prevents them from operating in their full manhood? Like, that's also, enabling, a system that we're trying to get away from, don't you think?
Caller?
Hello.
Yeah, can you respond?
Okay, so here's my whole thing. You can't re-raise a grown man. It's too late. For all of those dusties that are now adult men, you can't do anything about them. There's no magic cure. There's no puff of magic smoke that you can do that's going to change them. We have a whole bunch of baby boys that women are raising. So what I'm saying is, stop the buck there. Women do better with the boys that we have now, because there's nothing you can do about these grown men running amok. Yes, they're knocking us in the head. Yes, they're robbing us. The thing is not to say, I'm not going to have you anymore. The thing to say is, I'm going to have you and I'm going to do a better job.
So let me ask you something.
The caller makes a valid point. The caller is making a valid point. Watch her rebuttal.
Let me ask you something. Caller, that's fine. Let me ask you something, because number one, you're not answering the question and you're saying what everybody else is saying. You're saying raise them better. How many black women do you?
Time out. What other solution is there? You guys brag all, and I'm talking about the single moms who do this, right? You brag all around social media how you're the best in the world, how your job is the hardest thing in the world, and how you're doing your darnest to be the good mom. The media at large basically validates every single thing that you do, right? So then how is it that when we look at reality, it's not the case? What's really going on here? Or are you guys not the best of mothers and just admit that you need the man in the household? And that's what we got to do. We got to break our pride and just admit that we need men. We need men to raise these boys. If you want to talk about solutions, you can't do it yourself. A woman cannot raise a boy. especially a boy to be a man. It's just not possible. I know, because I grew up in a single parent household. When my mom left and took us away from our dad and came all the way over here to America, and this was done without telling my dad, by the way. When that shit happened, I got to a certain age where I realized that my mama couldn't tell me shit. I think it was like when I was 13, 14. I was looking at her, I'm like, you gonna tell what to do? Who you talking to? You're not gonna talk. I was the dude that was talking back. I knew for a fact you couldn't raise me. She had to get my uncles to talk some sense into me. Because it was just a certain age I got to where I was looking at her, I'm just like, oh, you're just a woman. Like, that's literally what it was. Like, I look, and you're my mother, but you're a woman at the end of the day. Like, you're not gonna give me what I need, that backbone I need to move to the next level as a man. It's just not possible. You need that other hand. That's why you see a lot of the women in the neighborhood, or let's just say single moms at large, their kids get to a certain age, especially their boys, where they can't handle them anymore. They can't. The boys are too rowdy. The more are all over the place. Because they need that masculine role model. That's the only type of energy that's going to set them straight. It's going to make them sit up straight and say, okay, what the hell? Like, let me pay attention to what this person's saying. Because this person looks like someone I want to be in the future. You can't do it by yourself. I don't care what media tells you. I don't care what your sisters tell you. I don't care what your family tells you. I don't care what anyone tells you. You need a male figure, whether it's the father of your kids, which you oughta should be, or another man you find along the way. You need a man. You're not going to raise a boy by yourself. Either that boy's going to be raised with a little bit more sugar than normal, or they're going to be raised being the statistics that we're looking at right now. And if we understand that single mothers overwhelmingly are basically becoming the new normal, then we look at the prison system, we look at all these other systems evolve. We gotta stop this bullshit, and we gotta actually put in blame where blame's due. Y'all allowed to get away with this nonsense because no one's holding you accountable. You are responsible for the children you bring out into this world. You are. And those boys are turned out to be ain't shit. Well, they came from ain't shit mamas that dealt with ain't shit dudes. And you want to deny that, but that's the fucking truth. You dealing with a man that you're calling dusty now and you're calling trash now only proves that this is your level. And how do you think that kid's going to feel watching you insult the dude that you decide to procreate with? How do you think they're going to feel? Oh, shit, I'm dusty by association. I guess we all dusty. Because my dad dusty, but mama slept with him, so that makes mama dusty. And if both mama and daddy dusty, that makes me dusty. The fuck? Pay attention to shit you saying, girl. You dealt with ain't shit dudes because you ain't shit yourself. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. Let's get it out there. Ladies that deal with ain't shit dude and complain about ain't shit dudes, you ain't shit. You trash. And if you want to get out of that category, well, then you need to choose better. And realistically, you're saying that that's not even an option. You guys are already doing that, but you're not. The fact of the matter is you're not doing enough of it. You're not choosing well. You're choosing worse. And you can see that with the elements of what girls are looking for nowadays in men. You guys are making horrible decisions in men. Don't skirt it off because it's a new day and age, and we're going to hold you accountable. We don't give a fuck. We ain't like these older guys that are scared of like tipping around. These younger dudes coming around, they come around. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. If you're dealing with trashy men, you're trash. That's your level. Because there are plenty of black women who deal with men that are not in that level. And they don't have those complaints. You are who you deal with. It is what it is. So the vast majority of women out here have kids right now, and those kids are boys, or some of them are boys, and those boys out here wilding out. That means those parents didn't do what they need to do to make sure that the kids come out here with the best of lives. And a lot of times, it usually means they didn't have those kids with the proper role model. I mean, the father. The big father. Jesus Christ.
How many black women do you know who, if you ask them, did they do the best that they could raising their sons, they're going to say no? How many of them do you know who's going to say, no, I didn't do the best job I could raising my son?
No, they're not going to say no. They're
exactly.
not going to let them say no.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're asking them to do an exceptional job of raising a male alone as a female.
Sasha Boo, I see your comment here, and I'm gonna break into it because we also hear this as a counterpoint to a lot of these women talk about this, right? So where are all these good men at? Where are all these good men at? First of all, I'm gonna just be real. Like, first, we got to break down what we think is a good person, right? And I think that just comes to an element of character. But in reality, good person or bad person, it's subjective, right? Because I don't think no man is good. No woman is good. No one is bad. It's all down to your morals. But if we really think about it, what makes a good man in a traditional sense is someone who has character. The character not to leave you when they have a baby with you, meaning that they stand up to responsibilities, not run from it. The kind of person that has a character of building, that wants to make sure that they want to build a better life, not only for them, but their kids and you. Someone who isn't selfish, that thinks for the whole group, not only themselves. Someone who sets out to give you attention when needed, to treat you the way you need to be treated, similar to the way your daddy is supposed to be treating you. The good man. Now, this particular person is flawed, and that's why I say what do you say is a good man? But everybody's flawed to a certain degree, and everybody, they will that good guy will piss you off at times. That good guy will get on your nerves. That good guy will be a point of time where you guys will be fighting, right? But at the end of the day, that man is gonna be there, especially if he has those responsibilities. And those men are asking where y'all are at. But the problem is y'all overlook these particular men because you guys have been raised to be attracted to hyper-masculine men. And these hyper-masculine men are these great value guys we see in raps and we see in entertainment and athletes, right? Those are great value men. Those are hyper-masculine men. You see them act in this overly aggressive manner, in this overly aggressive way, and we equate that to masculinity, but it's not. We see them around all these females treating them everywhere, which sort of kind of way possible. We find that attractive, but it's not. Those are actually the boys that these girls are talking about. Those are the real boys. The real boys they're having babies with. Pay attention, man. Like, this is crazy.
Female. The fact that they have to raise them alone is more reason why they shouldn't even give birth to them. Well, I'm not giving birth to a male that I'm gonna have to raise alone. I'm not gonna do that. Listen, how long have Black women been raising Black males on their own? How long?
For a long time.
Let me tell you how long. Since they stepped off the plantation. So for about 150 years, right? So if in 150 years we haven't perfected it.
So she's acting like there wasn't a period of time where Black women were married to Black men over even at a higher rate, than most other racial groups at the time. So you're saying since slavery, there have been single moms just all over the place. Yo, I can't believe the actual women buying into this nonsense right now. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. So since slavery, there's been single moms all over the place. Or could it be that were certain incentives that were put in place that made it so that, hey, listen, as long as there's a safety net, as long as we know that in the end, Big Daddy's going to have our back, the government, who needs the guy? We have women out here right now saying they would much rather have babies but not have the man with them. So it seems as though you guys want that future, not the other way around. What are you talking about? Like, what is this? Like, I'm genuinely confused. Like, what is she talking about, people? Like, I don't know what she's talking about. You have safety net, which pays for the mistakes that you're making. And I'm so confused, y'all. Like, I really am genuinely confused. What is she talking about? Women have had these protections for a long time. Not just Black women, women in general. When we talk about alimony, when we talk about child support, that is literally a man's, the government's way of putting responsibility on the man and the woman. And the laws haven't even been updated yet, so much to the point that women of this day and age right now are abusing these systems. That's what it is. But there is, don't sit there and act like black men don't have these responsibilities, or society doesn't make them responsible if they would have these kids. Because I would tell you right now, for every argument you make, I'll tell you a black man right now that's in jail for lack of paying child support. And you tell me there's no consequences there. You tell me for every one of these stats you're talking about, I can give you a black man right now that got his driver's license suspended because he didn't pay his child support. You want to go there? No, do you want to go there? Because we'll go there. Because it seems like we're having selective outrage right now. We're selecting facts. We're selecting things from one side and not acting like the men are doing this to the women, not acting like women don't have these protections. Literally, the only thing you have down right now to you is choice. That's literally it. And then you get mad at that, saying that's not a viable option. Then what else do you guys want to do? No. Black women that believe this nonsense. What do you guys want to do right now? What do you guys want? No, what do you guys want? Because I'm going to tell you this. You can sit there on your platforms, complain about these dudes ain't being shit, but they're not talking to you no more. And the dudes that are still complaining, they're still complaining because they still want to be with y'all, and those dudes haven't even realized their options yet, or some of them don't even have the options to date out. Actually, realistically, it's the dudes that are complaining right now that don't have the opportunities to date out. No, real talk. If you really want to nail it down, because I'm going to tell you this, the black men I know, they're not sitting here talking about relationships with black women or any of that. That conversation is not happening. They're done saying the same things over and over and over again just to come to channels like this or hear women like you saying, nope, we're not doing that. That's not working. We need to try something else. They're not talking. They're just going off and doing their own thing. The men that are complaining right now are the men that literally can't get black women or can't get black women to fall in line. The men that have other options, they just go with the other options. And you get mad because you see it. They put it in your face. They don't tell you with their words because you guys, women, you guys are the queens when it comes to wordplay. You guys are the queens when it comes to wordplay. So when a man is over here with their words, y'all be like, y'all can flip that easy against the dude. But when a man shows you with his actions, when you see these celebrities, you see these ballers, you see all these other guys who you wish that you were on their arm right now, right? You see these males and you see them dating out. Those are men that had these same conversations, but they couldn't tell y'all shit. And they say, you know what? Let me vote with my actions. Those are the same men that y'all look at and say, no, they're just trying to put it in our faces. Yeah, they're just trying to put it in our faces. That's what it is. These men are just hateful. They purposely go into Becky's. No, it's just that they're tired of telling you. They're tired of it. So when they realize that they have options, they go where they're loved. They go where they're needed. And for y'all, not all y'all, most of y'all, especially the cynthiag of the world, for y'all, it's different story. The guys that you're complaining about and the guys that are trying to complain about y'all misbehavior right now are the men that can't get black women or the men that are like on demon time and fucking with y'all. Those are the only two men right now that y'all have to deal with. So stop this bullshit. Like, this is nonsense. I'm on your ass now, cynthiag. You on the dukendon radar now. You on the bullshit detectives radar right now. So like we ain't gonna stop putting videos about you. Like, this gonna keep going. Like, you crazy. You a crazy chick. We'll keep listening, and then we'll get to the call-ins portion.
At what point do you say stop doing it? Stop giving birth to children. Hold on, I'm still talking. At what point do you say, if we haven't mastered it in 150 years, do something different and stop doing it until those men step up? Because you're essentially saying, oh, black women, just be a better job at being a father. How does that motivate black men to stay in the house and raise their own sons?
You motivate them by acting like a woman that the black man want to be with, to stay at home with the son. Instead of complaining and saying, no, I can't be this type of woman, or blaming all these other different things, why don't you be that particular woman? Listen, we can all see what women do on social media nowadays. Listen, there's this thing called the internet, all right? And we can videotape you and people put their shit on the internet, right? So this is no longer on the days where men just talk about this shit but didn't have proof in 4K. Now men are talking about this and they can also visibly see, especially sisters, acting in fucked up ways. Go look at TikTok, look at Instagram, look at all these other platforms. It hasn't been since 150 years. That's bullshit. You are trying to basically make an argument where there is none. You made the choice to lay down with a trash-ass dude and have trash-ass babies, so you have to live with the consequences of it. And that means a trash life. I'm sorry. If you got black women right now on social media saying they would much rather be single moms than have the fathers around, but then they end up being in trash situations, that's y'all. Look at Yaya Mayweather. Look at the dude she had baby with. Everyone told her. And she comes from a good background. Her father's still there. So that already puts a hole in your argument already. Her father is there. Her father is rich. He's one of these great value males. But she still decided to have a baby with a dude that really ain't right there to be a father. An ain't shit dude. An ain't shit dude. That's what Yaya Mayweather had a baby with. Had that struggle. Y'all see that struggle baby shower that she had. Y'all see that? So she's just a black woman from a good background. No environmental influences whatsoever. Dad has money, everything. And she still chose to deal with a Pookie. And guess what? The consequences of that. Now she out on social media talking about, oh, you dealing with all these other women, you ain't shit. No, you're trash. I don't care how much money you have, Yaya Mayweather. You're trash. You decide to deal with a dude that wasn't going to stick around, and you knew he wasn't going to stick around because he's letting y'all know that. He's always let y'all know that. All the girls that he's been dealing with, look at all the string of baby mamas he's had. So you seeing all that, not like you didn't know there was proof. You still made the choice to deal with an ain't shit dude. So when normal black guys, when normal average dudes who work in tech, who work in business, who could have had a Yaya Mayweather, who could have put a Yaya Mayweather in a good home, who could have treated her the way she needed to be treated. When they're sitting there like, oh shit, like wait, why would someone like her, who comes from a very good pedigree, deal with someone like him? And not only deal with someone like why would she have a baby with him? Like, why not me? Like, wait, what's going on here? Like, I'm making money, fine, he's making money too. But like, I'm responsible here and I don't have all these kids. Like, why did she choose him? Hyper masculinity is because y'all look at these dudes over here because they're not wilding out, because they're not overly aggressive, and they're displaying a different version of manhood. You think that's lame. Versus the perverted version of what you think manhood should be. You guys are chasing after that and getting burned. It's like putting your hand on the stove and then blaming the stove for burning you. That's just what it is. So don't sit here and give me that bullshit. This is a choice. All black women made. It doesn't matter if they come from rich families. It doesn't matter if they're broke. They still choose to deal with the dusties. So now you have to ask yourself, why? This is bullshit, bro. Come on. KS, thank you for the $5 super chat. She is trying to spread a narrative. They look at what their causes of single they look at what are the causes of single motherhood. Yeah, when you look at the causes of it, you'll realize it comes down to choice. And that's the thing. They're trying to skirt choice. And if you're trying to say that women are children, Cynthia G, then I got to come at you because I don't believe that. I believe that women are strong and I believe they're responsible. Matter of fact, I believe they're so strong and so responsible that they can handle taking accountability. Yep, that's right. I think they're so strong and so powerful that they can handle that responsibility. Ain't that what great power comes with? With great power comes great responsibility, right? And y'all talk about all the powers and all the shit that y'all have. So it's time to take that great responsibility and own it. It ain't the black man's fault. It ain't society's fault. It ain't Jim Crow. It ain't slavery. It ain't all the stuff. It comes down to choice. You're the most educated. You got the most money in the community. You got the most leverage when it comes to culture. It's your choice. Again, I mean, we can look at Yaya Mayweather. You got all these different examples we can list off. Look at Bernice Burgos' daughter. Look at Bernice Burgos. Look at April Mason's, the boss babe side of the thing, of the world, right? She also had kids before she got married, and she got married to a dude that was a good guy, ended up leaving him, and started living his boss babe life. Look at all these other women that you would consider examples who were either in rich circumstances or not so good circumstances, or were not so good circumstances and graduate the rich circumstances, and look at the choices they've made. And what you'll realize is the choices they made led them to the same conclusion that a lot of black women are going through today. So then we come down to the goddamn crux of the argument, and it says, if you want to break this down further, it's your choices. No one is coming out here taking boxes from y'all. No man out here is doing that because there's repercussions to that when out in society and in prison. So no man is out here forcefully taking y'all. It's a choice. That's when men hear this kind of argument, they laugh at y'all. They laugh at y'all. And some of them get confused because we're like, how y'all have all this choice, but y'all still saying it's our fault? What the hell are you talking about? So I refuse for you to start to make that argument that women are children, because I don't believe that. I think women have personal agency and they have personal responsibility. And I believe that there are women out there who know how to take that. And I think women like you got to stop making excuses for that, for bad behavior.
Exactly.
Can I say that too?
It doesn't.
It doesn't, exactly. So it's not a solution then.
Before you can, let me just say this. A woman can do the best job she possibly can do in raising a boy. And I'm not saying there's no room for mothers to be better or some mothers couldn't be better. I'm not claiming that. But even
bro,
if a
look
woman
at her chat.
to the table,
like there are for real
boys
women
learn how
who
to be
believe this
men
shit
by observing other men. Even if there's no man in the house, they're going to look at the behavior of men that they resonate with, and they're going to emulate that behavior. We can do all the work we can, but we can't develop men. And I think Cynthia has a great point in saying that we could come 10,000% strong as mothers to the table, but ultimately we cannot cultivate them into men. Men have to do that. And so that brings us back to being selective. And I would say you can avoid an abortion altogether if you just never get pregnant by them. Like that is easy enough.
And yeah, but say, look at the undue stress that people are putting on black women.
Callers making a better point.
Black civilization on their backs. The mere fact that we're suggesting.
Listen. Even your caller makes a better point, because aborting is just another way of skirting responsibility. No, let's be. Hey, whoa. If we're gonna have the conversation, let's go there. Let's go there. Abortion is another way of skirting responsibility, because guess what? You getting pregnant is nature's way of making you responsible for laying down and having unprotected sex. The fact that abortion exists gives you the reason for both men and women to escape that kind of responsibility. So what are we talking about here? Abortion is just another form of it. So by you, Cynthiag G, saying that a black male should just be aborted, that's you trying to skirt off the responsibility of women like you bringing out black males into this world that are ending up turning into crimes or treating black women in a certain type of way. It's y'all raising them. So instead of taking responsibility and ownership, just abort them and don't deal with it. If that isn't the highest level of not taking accountability that I have ever seen, call me crazy. Call me crazy.
That it's a job that needs to be carried out by women. This huge plight that you're putting on the backs of women, that you're essentially doing what you're doubling down on what black men have done to black women all that time. I don't think you even realize that you're literally a co-conspirator at making black women mules for the black community. They are all of the women that we can think of throughout the ages and that have given their testimonies and their stories, even the men who have lived the wrong path and then they come back and they turn around and they talk about, when they did get it right, they all say, my mother did the best that she could do. My mother tried to be a perfect example to me, but I did what I wanted to do anyway.
Because your best isn't good enough. And that's for a lot of you single moms out there. I'm just going to have to throw the plate right there, throw the bone on there right now on the plate. Your best isn't good enough. You need a man. I'm sorry to tell you this. I'm sorry to be as harsh as I could be, but you need a man. Enough of this soft tiptoe around it. You need a man. Your best isn't good enough. Just like even as a single father, your best isn't good enough. If you put your mind to something and you didn't end up getting the A's that you wanted to get, you didn't do a good enough job. That's just the reality of it. If you did the best you could, but your kid still ended up in prison, you didn't do the best you could. You didn't do a good enough job. So let's stop this nonsense, bruh. Let's stop. What's good, Poppy? Welcome to the building.
Yo, how y'all doing tonight?
We got the call in there. So let's go ahead. What are your thoughts on some of the stuff that we're talking about? You know, aborting black babies. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Do you see the points that she have? What you got for us?
Man, it's more fuckery going on, man. It's more fuckery going on right now, as usual. And now it seems that it's only fuckery going on with the minorities. That's it. With our minorities, you see what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
it's just you don't hear no other race talking about stuff like this. Only us. You see what I'm saying? It's only us.
Well, that's because here's the thing. Because you see this argument all the time, and what black women don't realize, because they're saying that what they're trying to do is they're trying to put a lot of the stuff on black men right now, right? You're trying to make a lot of stuff make it seem like it's a black male problem, but you can't do that when the black community in itself exists within a matriarchy. We're officially a matriarchal society in the black community. That's what we are. We look up the mamas more than our dads. Like, that's what it is. So first of all, in a situation like that, in a matriarchy, matriarchies by definition don't breed strong men. That's just what it is. Like, if you want to look at human or animal nature, matriarchies don't build like solid men. That's just what it is. So when you're saying, listen, if you don't believe me, look at there's a species of monkeys, a species of chimpanzees, I believe, right? I think it's the bonobos, right? That is I think they're completely matriarchal. And double check me if I'm wrong, guys. Double check me if I'm wrong, but there's a species of chimpanzees right now. I think they're bonobos, and essentially these species are completely matriarchal, right? And they only exist within a small portion of a particular island that they occupy. And the reason is, if they were to go outside of that, literally that whole civilization would be destroyed. They'd be destroyed because they don't have strong male chimps there to basically fight amongst not fight amongst each other, but go ahead and defend or go attack other groups of chimpanzees.
Man, listen,
matriarchies in general in the animal kingdom don't build strong masculine goddamn role models, and there's a reason for that, because they exist right now within an ecosystem that doesn't require masculine chimpanzees, just kind of like what we see here. So if they're talking about strong men cannot exist in a matriarchy. It's just not possible. So then you got to make the argument, well, okay, well, look at them coming from the white communities. White men, they act differently. They're different to the women. Well, they overwhelmingly exist in the patriarchy, which is crazy. Because when y'all talk about patriarchy, that's not for black women or black men. Because black men in this country never had a patriarchy. It's always been some level of equal or a matriarchy. So this, realistically, a lot of this is your fault of your mothers and your mothers' mothers and your grandmothers. Not the fault of men, because black men in the black community never really had power equivalent to the white man. So to even make that kind of argument is stupid and disingenuous. Because you're making an argument of all men. You're putting black men in the argument of all men when it comes to power dynamics. But then when it comes to women, you're taking that away and saying, no, we've been at a disadvantage, not realizing that black men and black women have always been in the same spot since slavery. The same slavery you're talking about, where these black men have been leaving baby mouths all over the place. We've been equal since slavery, and only recently we've passed that because black women are now above black men in the matriarchy we live in. That's just what it is.
It's just crazy, bro, because if you really think about it, I would like to know why something dramatic happened in her life. Do she got a baby or not? I think she got a baby, right?
I think she has kids. She definitely has kids. She has to have kids.
Kids or kids? Do you know how many?
No. How many kids does Cynthia G have, y'all?
I know
Let
for
me know.
sure one.
She definitely got. I know she's got kids.
And from what I know, she got one by a black guy, right?
It has to be, because where all this hate coming from? It's got to be black. Oh, she doesn't have. Teresa M says she doesn't have a kid, but then Teresa M also says some wild shit too.
So hold on, because O'Shea Du Jackson made a video about her having a kid before. So
she probably has kids, dog.
But
I'm
you
pretty
said
sure she has kids.
it's supposed to be by a pookie. I don't know what that even means to be
Oh,
honest.
wait. Cynthia G doesn't have kids. She said that herself. Okay. She said that she doesn't have kids. My bad. I just remembered.
Okay, I could have swear O'Shea Du Jackson made a video about her. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Either she said that she doesn't have kids or she doesn't have a black boy.
I remember seeing O'Shea Du Jackson. I believe that I saw he made a video about Cynthia G having a kid by a pookie guy. Whatever.
She probably aborted it.
No, because at that point he would have made the video then.
Either way.
But what I'm saying, my point is,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but my point is that's all. You see what I'm saying? To make her, because you cannot just go by having a kid with a black guy to like talk about straight up abort these goddamn kids. That's a string. That's two string right there. And to be honest with you, man, I refuse to believe that she feels this way, man. I think she just doing this to.
No, bro, Poppy. That's why I think you're wrong.
Black woman would say this, bro. I can't.
That's where I think you're wrong. Because if you look at and pay attention to how she talks, bro, she talks in a stream of consciousness. When she talks about this shit, you could tell it comes out in a stream of consciousness. And when people talk in a stream of consciousness, it's very, very hard to have, it's very hard to have that come off as calculated. You got to understand, when she speaks, you could tell she really believes what she's saying. When people speak like that, especially when it comes out in a stream of consciousness, when she's talking, you could tell they believe a whole lot of elements of what they're talking about. That's what when I look at her and what she's saying, I genuinely believe that she believes what she's saying.
Man, I don't, bro, because in the internet, I don't believe a lot of these motherfuckers, yo. They're just doing stuff just to sell some sort of course, get super chats and shit like that. It's a lot of scammers in this goddamn internet shit, yo, especially you.
They are, and I'll agree with you on that, but I don't believe Cynthia G is that. I believe that she's genuine, but she's wrong in her beliefs, which makes her even more dangerous because she actually believes the bullshit.
You know what? Like, if she believed that, bro, let's just say what she's saying is true. She believed it with all her heart. What she's doing is so messed up, bro, that she's poisoning the mind of all the girls that are, because it's easy. Now that I'm doing this internet bullshit now, it's easy to pursue people if you really think about it. These people start following somebody, they start following their ideology. Next thing you know, they become like soldiers, like cult-like kind of stuff, bro. That's dangerous, bro.
Well, the thing is, Poppy, is because we don't have the sense of community we have. And I'm not talking about black people, because here's the thing. I think we get confused when we talk about black people and the rest of the entire world, right? And we're talking about relationships as a whole, and we use that interchangeably. But here's the big fact that we got to understand. A lot of things that we're seeing that's going on in the black community right now is also bleeding out into the greater community as a whole. So we can't deny that anymore. Whatever's going on in black culture is quickly becoming American culture, right? So the problem is when we're talking about online, we're dealing with people that don't have communities, because guess what? Before social media, how else did we build communities? We built communities by going out and physically building those communities. Black men, women, all alike. The women were good at networking. The men were going out and bringing resources. That's what we did, right? But the fact that no one knows how to communicate with each other anymore, everyone's putting their lives on social media, which isn't the real lives, because the real lives is boring. Fake life is more interesting, and you get other people that want to live vicariously through you. So when you have that, right, and you listen to guys with these fake lives on here, right, well, it gets easier to try to find and pick and choose with people who vibe with your own little tribe. So then you buy into that wholeheartedly, which is why I'm surprised that someone like Cynthia G can have a massive following that she has of people who agree with this bullshit, and the majority black women. That's crazy to me. So then why y'all getting mad when black men are saying that they don't date black women, or they say something even remotely that could be considered derogatory towards black women, and we hear this shit and we're not flipping out. Everyone's silent. We flip shit on the minor stuff, but then when it comes to this stuff, we're including some of y'all women out there too. You're completely okay with this. But when it comes to someone saying something against you, you're not. If this doesn't expose the fact that all y'all that listen to this bullshit are hypocrites, you're nothing but big, massive hypocrites. And you only get mad when the same ideas you're using to perpetuate against the people or other genders, when they get flipped against you, that's when you get mad. When you actually see black men not complaining about the fact you're not dealing with them, but actually showing it through their actions, you get mad.
Yo,
When someone calls you out for the goddamn decisions that you make in dealing with these ain't shit dudes, you get mad. Because no one can tell you shit. And you will fail to admit that. Black women can't tell black women shit. Let's just be real. Black women are scared to tell other black women anything. Let's just be real. So if we live in a culture where black women has created a situation where even other black women can't even talk, or if they get talked, they get called pygmies. That even happened on the show. We had ladies calling other black women on this show pygmies because they chose to think differently than the boss babe mentality. So we want to talk about shame, insults, guilt, need to be right. It's right there. Y'all do this to other women. They can't tell you what's up. So when y'all raising ain't shit dudes, y'all raising ain't shit daughters because they ain't ready to be wives or husbands. You get mad when somebody's trying to tell you something because goddamn you tell a black woman something. That day is changing, bruh. That day is changing. Literally, you have to understand, ladies, the manosphere, the entire manosphere as a whole is literally a catalyst to the bullshit that you guys are doing right now at greater media at large. That's what this is. It's the counterculture to that. When guys hear that bullshit, when they see what's going on in the media, and they come to this space, no, minus the hardliners. We're not even talking about those guys. We're not talking about the Donnie Boys, the Rolos, or the Fresh and Fits. Those guys, they're discredited. They don't even matter. But when they come into the spaces, you got to understand that the power you think you have within the next 5 to 10 years is gone. The spending power you think you have is gone. But I'm going to tell you this, you are in more debt than you have income.
mm-hmm.
A black woman, the debt to income ratio, especially when you include the college debt, since you're the most enrolled, it's horrible. It's horrible. And when this house of cards crashes, you'll understand the problem. And it ain't black men. It ain't society. It's your decisions. Go ahead, Bobby.
Man, you couldn't say it any righter, man, because we are black people is at the bottom of every financial statistic that there is to be made, yo. There is we got the less money, we want the less houses. So that being said, black men need a black woman. That there is no way around it because nobody else coming to save us. You see what I'm saying? And to be honest, man, at least hopefully, I'm just gonna take a wild guess on this. That got to be a small number of black women that think like she does. It have to be. Because I know a lot of girls and they never told me some shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So it have to be like a very small number that think her way. Now, somebody in the chat just said it, Ruby, I think she said she does have a baby by a black guy that have 5 baby mamas. You see, that's where the hurt comes. That's where the hurt comes. I told you. I don't know her at all. And I honestly believe when somebody talk like that, they got problems. I don't think she really believe that shit. She just probably trying to make money out of it. I don't know. But look, she's signed up to be
while you're
baby
saying
mama.
that, I'm about to pull up a really good example of this bullshit and show you that it's like literally a lot of black women, right? A lot of this comes down to emotional choice. Okay.
Yep.
And when Cynthia G talks about, oh, we're not making emotional arguments, everything we're making is logical, I'm about to show you something that proves that that's bullshit. That despite all the red flags a man can display to a woman and a woman would know, she still would choose to deal with the ain't shit dudes without taking responsibility. Go ahead, Poppy. While I pull this up, I'm gonna take my.
What I want to know is,
Go ahead.
what I want to know is what baby mama shit is. She's number 3, 4, or 5. You see what I'm saying? And that would tell me that will let me know that she's like a Sierra. Remember Sierra? She willingly signed up to be Future's baby mama number 4. Willingly, knowing that this guy already had 4 baby mamas. So she willingly became baby mama number 5. Knowing what time it was with this guy.
Yeah.
And then turn around and be surprised that the guy played you. Like you didn't
So
have.
Why, in your opinion, why do you think that women do that, right? They go ahead and deal with the ain't shit dudes, and then like they turn around and just go ahead and blame the guy for the decisions that they've made. Why do you think that they do that?
Oh man, this man, like, okay, it's like this, man. The places that we come from, you see what I'm saying? Most of us come from like broken places, neighborhoods. Most neighborhoods doesn't have a father and a daddy together, so it's easy for a female to fall into those traps. You see what I'm saying? Also, females got to be real conscious that most females don't like to fuck with the proper kind of lame, kind of corny guy too. That comes in place too. If those corny lame guys trying to holler at these girls, they will straight up laugh at them. And that's why and that's when it's, I mean, we're not talking about fresh and fit today, but like you can just tell they used to be laughed at back in the days, like in their high school and college days. They wasn't
absolutely, and that's the truth. That's the truth, Pop, because you brought up an interesting point. A lot of black women, and I know because I was one of those dudes that had to change, and I had to change when in middle school. I used to get clowned for wearing clothes that fit. I wasn't wearing tall tees. Y'all don't realize, for those of y'all who remember, tall tees were in. Tall tees, Air Force Ones or Jordans, right? Jordans are still in, but like that's when they were really, you got the baggy pants, you got the tall tees. Back then, I was clowned for wearing fitted clothes.
Yeah.
I was clowned because my shirt sleeve didn't go to my elbows, and I got clowned for that. I got clowns because I wore FUBUs instead of Air Force Ones. I got clowned for that. So what I realized is that the sisters that I found attractive were going after guys in the tall tees, the backward caps, right, the baggy jeans, and the Air Forces. Guess what? I switched up, and I became that dude. So don't deny that you are not. Because listen, when I was dressed in fitted clothes, I was a lame. Because I was dressed in fitted clothes and I talked properly. So I was just known as a dude who's a wannabe white boy, right? A white boy wannabe. And this is by black women, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? The same women that I wanted to date. Because I wasn't pretending to be a gangbanger. I wasn't pretending to be anybody but some kid out of Africa, right? And I got clowned by the same black women because I didn't look like those thuggish types. And when I did change my persona up to be those thuggish type, we didn't have a problem. So we can't say that we have an attraction to guys who are hyper masculine and then turn around and say, nah, those guys, they ain't shit for a reason, bruh.
Yeah, you're right, bro, because it's just pay attention, and this happening everywhere, in every hood, every city that you live in. Only a small percentage of guys are the one who making all the babies, though. You got to look at it that way.
Let me show you this. Let me show you this tape. Let me show you this tape because I think y'all need to pay attention to this. Ladies, you need to pay attention to this because it don't matter how sweet a man's words is. It don't matter what it is. The fact of the matter is you're wired to spot red flags and you know when a dude is talking bullshit. And if you don't know, you should start learning that real quick. Because we about to listen to a story about a woman who has so many opportunities and dealt with so many red flags, but ignored them and had to deal with the consequences. Let's go.
Is it TikTok or some shit like that? Yo, can you hear it?
Say what?
Can you hear it?
Yeah, can you
No, I
guys
can't
hear it?
I think he's mute.
Oh shit. Let me play that back. Hold up. We'll play it back.
Flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating.
You guys hear it?
So I was dating this guy back in 2019.
Now they can hear it now.
He seemed like a really nice and laid back person. We talked a lot and we
You probably gonna have to start it over.
The first red flag was that he told me he didn't have health insurance. And when you're young and dumb, that doesn't really seem like that big of a deal. You know, health insurance is expensive. The next red flag was that he told me he didn't get checked out because he doesn't have health insurance. Since I got checked out, he would know if he had something, if I had something. So that was like his checkups. The biggest red flag was that he said he didn't have any kids because all 6 of his exes got abortions. So basically what he was saying is that he had unprotected sex, he didn't pull out, and he did not get checked out. Because I ignored those red flags, I now have herpes. Learn from me, ladies.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What is a red flag that you should?
Y'all, let me know if y'all heard it.
Yeah, I didn't
Let me
want to
know
hear
if
that
y'all
shit.
heard that. So this is a definition of an ain't shit dude. And this is a sister who's dealing with the ain't shit dude. Had all the red flags in the goddamn world, right? I ain't got health insurance. Oh, I was young and dumb, so I bypassed that. Okay, fine. All right. And he's never been checked out, right? One of these fresh and fit boys over here, right? Because you ain't a real player unless you got burned. Ain't that right, Fresh Prince CEO? You said that, right? So this might be one of your many stands out here on demon time and running through girls, right? Especially sisters.
Wrap up,
So
please.
that was a huge red flag. Never got checked out. You ignored that. Oh, I didn't have anything, and since you're checked out, you know, I would know if I had something because then you have something. So he was basically saying, I'm gonna use you as a human test strip to know if I got burned or not, right? So I'm gonna just go ahead and go up in you raw, and if you got some, then I'll know if I had something.
And
you still let it happen.
Yeah, she still let him.
You still slept with the man. Then her and 5 other women who still fell for the same trap. So women fall into traps like this all the time out of their own decisions. And then when the consequences hit, you want to turn around and say the man wasn't shit, but he gave you decisions and red flags the entire time, letting you know that he wasn't shit. Letting you know that, hey, dealing with me, you're going to have problems for the rest of your life. In this case, it wasn't a baby, but it was an itch you can't scratch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Cynthia G, where does women and their choices come into your argument? Where does it come into play? Because it seems to me, even this lady takes accountability. Even she takes accountability. She says, learn from me, right? And shout out to her. She doesn't seem bitter doing this video. She probably was at some point, but she's probably at a moment of like acceptance, right?
She's at peace with herself.
So she doesn't seem bitter talking about all these guys ain't shit. She's saying, learn from me. But there are countless of sisters who go through similar situations and come out with a jaded mentality, not realizing this was a choice they made. You slept with the dude that was ain't shit. You fell for all the bullshit lies. You didn't do the thinking, and you deal with the consequences, either getting burned or dealing with kids. You don't have unwanted sex if you don't want to. Well, all of this is proven, ladies, that it doesn't matter what kind of blaming that you did, at the end, all said and done, at the end of the day, it comes down to you and your agency. By you blaming other people, blaming other genders, blaming society, you are by definition saying that I am powerless. As an adult, I am powerless. I have no agency. Then you're no different from a child. That's what Cynthia G is saying. She's saying that all of y'all don't have the concept of taking accountability or responsibility. Therefore, you guys equate to children. That's what she's saying. But I don't believe that. I believe women and adults, and they know how to take responsibility. I believe that full-heartedly. Now, are there some women out here that act like children? Absolutely. But I definitely believe women know how to take accountability and agency. We're looking at one right here. Ignored all the red flags and got burned. Literally. She got burned.
Probably Prince.
So We know they can take accountability. What about the women that you're dealing with? The women that are huddled around your group right now, Cynthia G, talking about it's all men's fault. They are out here actively making decisions like this young lady right now, and they're resentful of. But this is the kind of stuff that goes on. So miss me with that bullshit that it ain't the women's fault, and you can blame the man without blaming the women.
Yeah.
Let me play this one more time so y'all know. Let me play this one more time so y'all know.
This is crazy.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you
What is a red flag that you should have not ignored about somebody? Let's
were
keep playing.
dating?
So I was dating this guy back in 2019. He seemed like a really nice and laid back person. We talked a lot and we vibed right away. The first red flag was that he told me he didn't have health insurance. And when you're young and dumb, that doesn't really seem like that big of a deal.
Another thing they like to use, right? The young and dumb argument. Stop it. Knock it off.
Be like
Stop
30 Sunday, the young.
Because then what is young?
They be like 25.
Okay, a child is young and dumb. They're below 18. But as soon as you're 18, legally, they say you're an adult. So as an adult, ain't no time to be dumb. You ain't got time to be young and dumb because being young and dumb will cost you. So we got to stop using these arguments, young and dumb, because you're ineffectively saying I was a child when I wasn't.
You know, health insurance is expensive. The next red flag was that he told me he didn't get checked out because he doesn't have health insurance.
Ladies, in the chat right now, some of y'all watching, let me know if y'all would sleep with a man that tells you he hasn't been checked out. And he haven't been checked out because he doesn't have health insurance.
It all depends how much they like him, bro. It all depends.
Let me know.
If they like him that much, they go raw up in there. I'm telling you.
I got checked out. He would know if he had something, if I had something. So that was like his checkups. The biggest red flag was that he said he didn't have any kids because all 6 of his exes got abortions. So basically what he was saying is that he had unprotected.
All 6 of his exes got abortions. Wait a minute. Ladies, this one's for you, all right? Guys, I'm sorry you can't take a poll on this one. This is for the ladies, all right? Ladies, how many of y'all, if a guy told you, right, a guy you're dealing with right now came up and told you, hey, baby, don't worry about it, and he was trying to be slick about it. Let me get my mug in here. If a dude that you seeing right now came up to you and say, hey, baby, listen, it's cool. Let me hit that raw. All of my other baby mamas. See, you got to understand. Listen, they all had abortions. All 6 of them. They all had abortions. So we cool. All right, it's my kids. They all got abortions. It's cool. How many of y'all ladies will see that as a red flag? If a dude was dealing with a lady and his last 6 exes all had abortions, how many of y'all, put a 1, would see that as a red flag? How many of you 2 would just, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. A man's past. It's fine. I'm interested to see. Because I'm sorry, logically speaking, if I put myself in a role of a female, right, and I'm not, but if I did, if a dude told me that all 6 of his exes all had abortions, and I know I'm girl number 7, I'm like, I'd be thinking twice a little bit. Like, wait a minute. The last 6 girls you were with all had abortions. Time out. I'm not going to be girl number 7. At least that'd be something logically runs through my mind, or I'm wrong. The women just think differently.
Hold on now. She probably wanted to see what is that about. She probably want to find out how that thing feel like. That's what the only explanation.
Okay, so we got some ladies in here saying nah, or you probably laugh.
They like him, bro. You all depend how much they like him. That's what it comes down to. This guy, they like him a lot.
It's ridiculous.
I know it's stupid. No, I agree with you. It's real stupid. But what I'm saying is, if these girls like this man that much, they will let him go raw up and without looking at his last STD test or something like that. At least look at his shit. At least go make the man go take a test. That's how you know.
Or better yet, just wear a condom. I don't care how much he says it feels better without. Make him wear a condom.
And they
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it, man. Like, women, this is another fucked up thing that I like most guys can't wrap their heads around. And like the fact that y'all keep saying this makes y'all look ridiculous. Okay. When y'all saying that you guys don't have any other, especially when they make these birth control arguments, or does this not birth control, this abortion argument, when the conservatives and liberals go at it, right? And y'all saying, oh, we don't have any other options. It's like, you guys have all these forms of birth control. What are we doing with that?
Before
what are we doing? What are we doing with all these forms of birth control that you guys have? If not, you're being irresponsible with it. So make it make sense, because you guys have all these opportunities here with birth control. Guys really don't, aside from the condom. So you guys have all these opportunities, yet you're still being in single mothers households, being raised in single parents, a child from single parents household. What is the issue here? Because you guys have all this pertaining to you and all this help. Why are we not utilizing it?
Man, people
like, why are we not? Why are we still ending up in single moms or single man hanging out with children out of wedlock from single parent households when we have all these opportunities available to us? And Sasha Boo, don't say vasectomies. Vasectomies are there, and guys take advantage of it, but that's only two. You got the IUDs, you got the pills. Multiple different forms of pills. You got the one. You got the one. What do you call it? The one knockout one. The morning after.
They got that system of that.
You got the little one that I had a girl who had that underneath the arm and shit.
Yeah, it's like 20.
All these, listen, let them come out with one of these birth controls for dudes where you can stick on the arm. I say, hey, sign me up. Sign me up.
And they got a plan B on top of that.
So, like, it never made any sense to me. Like, when guys hear this argument talking about, oh, women never had a choice, women didn't have this, we look at you as ridiculous. Not all women, the women that make this argument. Like, when you make this argument, you look ridiculous. Because we're looking at over here, we're seeing all these options, then we look over here, and we're seeing you making these decisions, and then we're like, make this make sense.
You can't.
You can't. Because then at the end of the day, it comes down to your choice. That's why we can't make sense of it, because it's your choice. Niggas, we don't know what's going on in y'all heads. We don't know. It comes down to you and your choice. So choose better. I want to go a little bit more of Cynthia G, and then we'll go ahead and close out. But I wanna play a little bit more so we can react to it.
All right.
Okay, Teresa M. When you look at men as ridiculous, you get a woman pregnant, genius. Okay. Now we go back to this is you guys are about to see this argument logically break down in real time. Teresa M. Then I'll ask you. Okay, did the man take the woman in order to make her pregnant? Did he forcibly take her? And then if not, if we know it wasn't grape, right? Then my next question would be, did the woman consent to that? And if she did consent to it, then why would you then think? My last question would be, then why would you then come to the conclusion that it's the men making the babies rather than both of them making babies? That just exposed the one-sided thinking that you have. And I got nothing against you, Teresa. I mean, it seems like you're actually genuinely confused. Like, you seem genuinely confused. So I'm just going to clarify this right now. Take the time to do it so I wouldn't have to do it later. You seem genuinely confused. Because if it takes two to tango, then it's not just one person's fault because they had the woman's left with the baby. The woman has to be more selective than the man has to be. The man can smash whoever he wants. The woman has to be more selective. It's been like that since thousands of years. That's how biology works. Women have always been more selective ones when it comes down to genetics and whatnot. That's why I don't even, some of the guys that complain, oh, she's saying that she wants a guy with money, she's saying that she wants a height, all these different things. I don't bat an eye at that. I see that as actually as reasonable, because you want the best genetic makeup for your offspring. That makes sense. But you can't then just be selective and then blame the dudes that you selected and say, no, you put the baby in me. No, you consented to that. Unless the man takes you forcibly, then you consented to it. So you were responsible for it, especially if you have all these options of birth control that you can take responsibility for. Keyword you. You. Let's play this.
Man, people crazy, man. People is crazy, man. So let me get this right. A female just go rob and then you just turn around and blame the man. You're the one who's gonna get stuck with the baby. Is the guy the
Wait,
one that
what?
got nothing to do with you?
Oh shit. Wait, what was it, Poppy?
I say like female, whatever Teresa N was saying, she pretty much saying like, well, it's guy's fault that a female get pregnant. I'm like, no, girl, like if you get pregnant by ain't shit guy, you're gonna be stuck raising that kid by yourself. Like, why don't you think that way? Like it's not
No,
that.
that's the thing, man. Like that women like that don't get, or if Teresa M is a woman or what, like y'all don't understand that. Y'all just think that it's a one-sided thing. Y'all think it's a one-sided thing. And okay, let's use the condom argument, right? And let's say the man convinces you not otherwise. Well, then you allowed yourself to be convinced otherwise. Because let's not pretend that we don't know the consequences when it comes to sex. Guys know that very well. Because we don't have agency when it comes to once our seed leaves our bodies. Once our seed leaves our bodies, we have zero control of that.
He's over.
It's over. You have all the control after that point. So we want to talk about wrapping up. Okay, fine. We'll put it on the guys. But if you want to talk about like sex, it's a two-party thing, and the woman has to consent. Because you are the gatekeepers. You are the selectors. You select who goes inside you. You select and you make sure if they wear a wrapper or not. If you let them convince you otherwise, that's on you. I don't care how many sweet talking, you know what's right and you know what's wrong. But the fact that you make the decision to go otherwise, you were wrong. And you face the decision for that. Because society ain't going to waste time to make sure the man's held responsible. Society's not going to waste time. But when it comes to women, we have to skirt around. Listen, if we're going to have open and honest conversations that are going to bring us both together, we have to be honest with it. We have to be honest about what's happening in our communities and with women at large.
And yo, listen, you got to make this point real strong right here.
Exactly, Lante. Both are wrong.
Females, actually, they are covered. Because once like you have sex with a girl and you busting her and get her pregnant, guess what? Her wrong, it would be made right. I mean that if you're not around, you're gonna be put on child support. Number one, right? Number two, she can always go get government assistance. So no matter what she does, she always gonna be covered. Now, let's talk about the men. The men be like, oh shit, I made a mistake. Guess what? Society don't give a fuck. You either pay that child support or you're going to jail. That's it.
I know brothers that are locked up for that shit right now. That's why I can't sit there and just like in good faith sit there and say, oh no, men don't have consequences or even make this argument, because it's not true. Men have consequences when they have kids out of wedlock. It's called child support. And guess what?
The man go to
if
jail.
the man's not paying child support, whose choice is that? Yours. So we have a situation, ladies, what you got to understand is we have a situation where the government and society takes responsibility and accountability away from you by providing you safety nets when you have children by ain't shit dudes, versus the other side when it comes to men. Society punishes men for doing that. We know that because the laws haven't changed since the 60s and upwards. The laws haven't changed. And what happens is, with arguments like Teresa likes to make, it ends up becoming circular. Because now it's like, oh well, if the man didn't bust in her, well then she wouldn't have gotten pregnant. And you're failing to see the argument that it's both of y'all fault. If the man busts in her and runs, it's the woman's fault for basically choosing that guy and not vetting properly. If the man busts in her, it's his fault for not wrapping up, and now the woman has to deal with that. It takes two to tango. Women just all of a sudden just pop out kids with no man, because then that wouldn't make sense if y'all just popped out kids with no man. But it doesn't, because life doesn't work that way. So two people, they're both equally to blame. But then when you dive deep enough, then you will start to realize that there's a certain group of guys who will do that shit and won't take responsibility. But there's an overwhelmingly group of guys that will do that shit and are willing to take responsibility, but the women ain't having it. So literally, like all these different conversations, when you break it down, it comes down to choice. Literally, all of this comes down to choice.
And that's one part that bothers me too. That they have painted men like we don't take care of our kids, bro. I don't know that many guys that don't take care of their kids, to be honest. And I know a lot of people. Bro. Let's say if I know 100 men that got kids, 97 of them are good fathers. So I don't know where all this notion come from that men don't take care of their kids. They be baby daddies. That's just a complete lie, bro. That shit is a complete lie, bro.
You want to know how a dude's gonna be ain't shit? A big red flag. If a guy barely knows you, he hasn't claimed you be his girlfriend or anything like that, but he wants to have sex with you with no rubber, that's how you know this dude's ain't shit.
Or he drunk.
If he doesn't have good dick discipline and doesn't have control over his seed, because that's the one thing that separates a man from a boy. A boy will fuck anything. A man that understands the ramifications of putting his seed in the wrong woman. So if he decides to just shoot all around or get inside you with no rubber, that's already flag number one that he ain't about shit. He's not about protecting his seed. And then you're to blame for letting an ain't shit dude who doesn't know how to protect the seed come in you. That's it.
And
that's how that works.
And that's what I say in every city.
If you really want, if a guy is basically saying, no, let's not use a condom. That's how you know. And I know because I used to do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand that. Until I fucked around and I really ended up having a kid and whatnot. And I took responsibility. So call me ain't shit. I was on that same pattern as some of these dudes, but our difference is I took responsibility when my girl got knocked up and I wifed her up. Why? Wasn't because for love, happily ever after. I just knew that, hey, listen, I'm not having a baby out of wedlock. I grew up Roman Catholic and that shit was frowned upon. Why? Because my culture had shame. We had shame and I'll be looked at crazy. How you gonna go around here popping things? So you can't just say it's all men. And then after that, I realized you got to protect your seed. Because, hey, some of these girls will put you through hell, especially when kids are involved.
18 years, baby.
18 years.
That don't scare you?
They will do that to you. So now, being a little older, being a little wiser, I realized that protecting my seed is the right call. So even if I'm dealing with women right now, I'm not just going out here just busting you like that. I'm going to wear a condom. I've had girls that say, no, don't do it. Hell no. What you mean? And as soon as I'm done, I'm flushing that bitch.
18 years. That's all you have to remember.
I ain't playing. You can't get me for another 18. I'm already doing time right now. You ain't going to catch me for another one.
That scared the shit out of me.
I know brothers with like 5 or 6 kids, and they talking and doing. I'm like, yo, listen, bro. How do you not wake up with night terrors? Like, if I had 5 kids and with different baby mamas, dog, like, especially knowing the one I had to, bro, like, I would wake up with night terrors. I'd be like, oh, shit. Fuck, I got another one. Oh, shit. Little Timmy. I forgot about little Timmy. God damn. How do y'all not wait? All y'all dudes out there with 5, 6 kids with like 2 or 3 different baby mamas, how y'all here not waking up with night terrors? That's how I know y'all ain't got no direction whatsoever. So y'all dudes out here doing that shit, y'all ain't got no direction. Because I would, like, even with the one kid I got right now, and just like waking up, just like trying to make sure I got everything in order for her. Even to this day as a dad, I don't even know if I 100% if I know what I'm doing, right? So how is it that you add in 4 more babies on top of that? I lose my mind. But some of these dudes do it. And they're not in the right position to be doing that stuff financially either. And then I look at the women that choose these, I'm like, like, why would you? All right, bro, that's your lives. If that was me, I'd be screaming in night terrors. Like, I'd be waking up cold sweats and chills and shit. Like, I have 5 miles to feed by myself. Hell no. Hell no.
That's scary, bro. That is scary. Just getting the wrong girl pregnant, that should scare the shit out of you, man. Look.
Yeah. No, absolutely my best ain't good enough. That's what I just said. Sometimes I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. I literally just said that, and I'm honest with it. I'm not gonna sit there and pretend I'm the best dad in the world because I'm saying no.
You try though. You try.
I know, like, listen, man, there are issues I gotta work with too as a single dad. Mm-hmm. Even when it came down to one-to-ones, when it came down to dealing with other women, like, I stopped bringing other women around my daughter. Because, like, I would have women around my daughter, And like we would do the, you know, they'll get to know him and whatnot, get to know her and whatnot, and then we'll
I never
break
did
up.
that.
And my daughter's like, "Oh, where's oh this person? Where's that?" And you can see the sadness in her eyes because they built that bond. So I stopped doing that as a dad.
I never did that.
Now I don't control what her mom does with other dudes. I don't control that, but I know for me, having random females just coming in and meeting my kid, that's dead. I can't do that no more. So I
never
stopped.
did that.
But I'm still learning as a father because I don't know, especially as a single dad trying to navigate this. I don't know. And any single dad that tells you that they know, they lying or they capping. Because most dudes, especially most parents, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So as a parent, I still don't know, and I have these questions. What I do know, it would have been better if the household was intact, but it's not. So I'm in a situation where I have to figure out how to move on from here to make it as best as I could, even though I know for a fact my best ain't going to be good enough compared to families who are intact. When she goes to school and she's dealing with kids that come from two-parent household, I know for a fact my best ain't good enough because I'm watching that right there.
But let me tell you something, bro. You got to give yourself credit because you are a good father, bro. Every time we get on the phone, shit like that, your kid is always with you. You see what I'm saying? Just like my kid is always with me. Like I don't know, like sometimes she be jumping on the line like by mistake and stuff. Like, you see what I'm saying? That you got to be proud of yourself that you said you don't know what you're doing. I think you wording it the wrong way. I think you should say more like, I don't know if I'm doing right.
No. Here's the thing. The reason why I believe that, because I believe no one's perfect. Because believe me, I get told this all the time. Even my baby moms, I get told this all the time. You're a great father. You're a great dad. Like I don't believe that shit. Because deep down, like I don't even know if what I'm doing is right. I question myself on certain things. Okay, how do I properly, let her know that what she's doing is wrong without going crazy like my mom used to go crazy on me? Because that's the experience I have with raising a kid. How do I do that where I can have her come to me and I can create an open, safe situation where she's not afraid to tell me anything or come to me and tell me something? The same thing that I didn't get with my parents because my parents didn't create that safe environment. I was scared to do shit. The shit that I hid from my parents, I don't want my daughter to be hiding from me.
Especially in today's day.
You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that I have to question as a father. So don't get me wrong. I get those compliments all the time. I get those. But deep down, I don't believe them because I don't believe anyone's a good. My best isn't good enough. If my best was good enough, we still. Why did I separate from her mother while she was only 3 years old? Why didn't I do the best I can to keep that intact?
You try hard enough.
I didn't try hard enough. That's bingo. But I'm a dude over here taking responsibility, knowing my best ain't good enough. So I understand that. So when I sit here and I listen to women like Cynthiag put all black men in the box and say, oh, all these dudes ain't shit, all these dudes ain't nothing, I'm going to tell you this, you're wrong. Because I know brothers out here that fight every day. I don't even know some brothers that fight, and the harder they fight, the crazier shit gets, especially with the woman dealing with their kids.
This is crazy.
Grover Reed, shout out to you. Welcome to the stream. That's good, brother. Oh, you mute.
Not anymore. I'm not muted anymore. How you gentlemen doing this evening?
We good.
So all right. So I get so frustrated where I hear people talk about fathers, especially black fathers, just like they ain't shit. And so I want to just tell a story of my father. My parents separated when I was 3 years old. Okay, now if anybody would meet me and see my father and my mother together interacting with me when I was playing football, when I was, I played a jazz band my whole life, I played music my whole life, they would think that there was no separation in the family. Because one thing that families had, especially black families who came out of the 60s, is that they understood that no matter what, number one, you keep the white man out of your business. Number two, you made this baby. You guys are responsible for raising this child together. So just to tell a different story, because I get so sick of this narrative, because I know a lot of brothers like this who not only cooperate with their baby's mom, even when they're not allowed, they go the extra mile, 20, 30 times more than anyone I've seen to make sure that they're in their kid's life. And so my father came to an agreement with my mother that no matter what, they're going to have dinner together, a family dinner once a week. So every Friday night I had a family dinner. And I know what the dinner was because, we country. My dad from Abilene, Texas. It was fried catfish, collard greens, and cornbread. And that's what we ate once a week. My mother made it for him. My parents, I felt tension in the air sometimes when they was mad at each other. but we had that dinner because they wanted to show me what normal was. And so it's very important that we understand that the majority of Black men are in their kids' life.
That's what I say.
The majority of Black men are going to be in their kids' life. And just because you're not married, a lot of times, you know, numbers do lie. A lot of times you say, well, if they're not married, so this is a single mother. It's a single mother, but father can have visitations on the weekends. Father can have the kids 50% of the time. Fathers are very active in their children's life. No, yes, I'm not going to shoot bail for someone. Look, you're a piece of shit if you're just going to make a child and run away. That's what you are. No offense or buts. But when I hear people categorizing all men into one type because it's convenient, it fits their confirmation bias and it makes them feel better, then as a dude who's been on this planet for about 50 years and seen countless times, including Black men, and this is where I get really passionate for, who died providing for their children, who didn't know what they were doing, but still took a dangerous job and fell off scaffolding in the city as a laborer to die for their children, to make sure that they had it better than them. You know, my family's been in construction my whole life, so I've seen that. Then I just have to take a step back and say, you know what? Perhaps the real problem is the common denominator is the people that they've picked. Don't get mad at me because you picked somebody wrong. That's not my fault. And then you could tell by the way that you interact with people, how they go about it. So like me, they say, well, how many kids you have that you don't know about? Some disrespectful shit like that. You know, oh, well, I know when you lived in Europe and I know when you lived in Asia, you have a bunch of kids running around speaking a different language. First of all, if any kid came out of my body, that kid would be not only be the heir to my property and whatever I built, but would be with me. And so I don't have that. And most men think that way because that's in a man's nature. Now, look, these have feminine acting, you know, I'm sorry, when I was young, we just called them bitch made. I don't know what you folks call them.
Oh, there's some bitch made people out here.
Those folks who act like that.
Yeah.
The important thing is that men like us call them out and get them out the way because they shouldn't be allowed to reproduce anyway. Let's just be real. When I was coming up, you had to man up to get a woman. You just couldn't walk up here, you know, talking any old kind of way with no damn plan and get some booty. It just didn't work that way. And I don't know what changed between the 80s and now. And I'm not trying to be this old cat talking about, oh, when I was young, this and that. But sometimes the old ways are better. And as far as your parents go, I'm going to tell you this and be honest with you, you know, sir. They did the best they could with the information they had. Just like you're doing the best you can with the information you have. And your only job is to make sure that your children are more educated than you and do a better job and have it a little better than you. And that's how you build generational wealth. You know, my father didn't learn how to even function in society until he went to the military and got shot twice in Vietnam for it. Then when he came out, he said, okay, I learned how to do this, and do this. You're going to be 10 times smarter than me. You can't go to the military. I wanted to join the military. You can't go to the military. That's standing on the shoulders of giants and understanding how to build wealth. And that's what my grandfather did for my dad. My grandfather was a sharecropper and a farmer. My dad went to the military and was a carpenter. I'm a businessman. That's how it works. And so, you know,
that's facts. I had to give you one for that one, man, because that's absolutely facts. Yeah. You know, if you compare guys back in the day to what happened now, it's a completely different thing. And then when you start to break all this down, it comes down to choice.
Yes, sir. I can't even compare myself and what I'm going through to you guys. Only thing I can do is say, hey, I've kind of seen this before. This is how I would handle it. Yep. Let me give you a little information. And that's what, and look, my generation failed a lot of you cats. And that's why I do what I do now. Because we were supposed to be here like the older cats with me who told me, hey, bro, you know, you can't knock down every hole you see. You're going to have a bunch of kids and be broke. Hey, don't do that because they're going to put you in a jail. And after you get out of jail, your life going to be 10 times harder. I had this information from these cats who came up in the 60s who, I mean, my uncle used to write for the Oakland Tribune. He just covered the Black Panthers. That was his whole beat. And so he had that knowledge to give to me. And you know what? We failed because I was busy in the early 90s. I was about making money and working 60, 70 hours a week. I didn't have time to mentor nobody. So I got to go back and try now. And so with respect, I'll hop off. I'm actually working on some content. I'm doing my own thing. But man, every time I see you guys, y'all pull me in. I try not to get on. I'm like, man, and then I said, they talking about this. Let me get on and run my mouth a second.
Hey, listen, Grover. First of all, I appreciate you. Every time you hop on, man. Damn near a panelist now. So you damn near get that. But also self-awareness, man. 2022, this platform, we made a promise that we're gonna make that a thing, right? And in order to make that a thing, we also have to have the opposite side of the argument, the hard stuff that a lot of people don't want to have, and that's where a lot of this stuff is coming from, and that's the women. A lot of this, and we not saying that the men don't have issues, but we can harp on the men. It's just that we got to figure out a way to put the message to a lot of women where they can understand it, not from the Kevin Samuels type of perspective where you just hear it and all of a sudden you get triggered or anything like that, but from a perspective where it comes from, like, you guys can understand this is love and this is facts and this is logic. Yeah. All right, this is where a lot of this is coming from. All right, let me just take you out of the element that you're in right now and walk you down a logical conclusion. All right, if X is happening, the reason why is because of choice.
100%.
That's just what it is. We're not using that as a derogatory thing to come at you. Yeah. We're not talking down to you. Maybe some guys out there may be condescending with it, but we're actually being serious. Mm-hmm. Men understand personal responsibility than anything else in the world because we get held accountable for just about everything. Okay? So when we're letting you know that the consequences a lot of women are facing now with single parenthood, that comes from the consequences of choice. With choice comes consequences. With choice is power. Mm-hmm. You don't realize that choice is power. The power of choice. Decision to walk away, decision to stay, decision to do all these different things. That's all power.
Yes.
So when you have that power, you can't then run from the responsibility that comes with it because that's what you guys are doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying all women, and it sucks that I have to preface this, but I have to say this. It's not all women, but some of y'all who like that power of choice, but don't want to run away from responsibility. I'm talking about some of y'all women that will march in the streets for the power of choice, but then run away from the responsibilities. I'm talking about you women out there who want to talk about choices, and then run from the responsibility that come with it. I'm talking to y'all, not the women that understand y'all. Because there are plenty of women out there that get it, but there's a good majority of them that are out here that clearly don't and are poisoning and corrupting the rest.
100%. You know, if you live in a country without choice, or you visit a country without choice, and things are made for you, then a lot of times you don't have this responsibility. People don't understand that living in a free society or a semi-free society, or what we call a free society, means that our choices we make have direct lines of consequences. Hey, you have a choice to be a bum if you want, but you ain't gonna have nothing. You have a choice to work really hard, but if you work stupid, you may not have anything. Choice has a lot of responsibilities to it. And so we've lived in such a remarkable time that I don't understand where you can have choice but not accept your consequences. And it's just, it doesn't make sense. So, you know, brothers, you're on the right track with having these type of conversations because you have a way, you can get fiery, you can be passionate, but we bring it back down to respecting the individual. Everybody who talks to me understands that I lead with respect. I call people sir who I'm older than because I want y'all to understand that feeling. I want you to understand that feeling of respect because you know what? It's very hard and I don't say for people with our phenotype to have that respect. But I tell you one thing, once you get it, you ain't gonna let it go. I walk into a room and I'm usually in charge. It works out that way for me. And so that's just one of the things. So salute to both of you folks. I enjoy the discourse.
You said, man.
I got to run. I got some projects I'm working on. You know, we try to pump out as much product as we can. So respect. I'll catch up with you gentlemen later. And just one thing, please keep doing what you're doing and don't be discouraged because people are going to come after you. But you know what? I said this a long time ago. If they could do what you do, they would be doing it. That's why they mad at you. All right.
That's facts.
Some OG quotes right there.
That's some OGs of Grover Reese, bro. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. No, it's a pleasure every time you come on, man. I appreciate that. And no, we're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop, man. We're too much on a roll right now. We just can't. There's too much to be done. Especially talking to black men about this because we got some responsibilities to deal with. But also talking to the sisters about it because most sisters aren't talking to each other about this, at least in the way that needs to be had. So if brothers can start the conversation, they can reach out to some of our sisters. I think we can start getting to a place of healing because we don't need everyone. We just need a critical mass of 10 to 15%, and we can make some changes with that. But only we have to do the hard work until the changes come. That's just basically what it is, and we're not going to stop. I appreciate it, Grover.
Our culture is so influential that if we get 7%, we won. If we get 7%, we'll change the way the world does things.
Even 7%.
Remember something, when I was young, when I was a little boy, right? Hip hop came out and nobody wore sweats anywhere except in the gym. Nobody wore Adidas at all. Adidas was a dumb brand, right?
70s, right?
Yeah. Late 70s, early 80s,
yeah.
Right? 7% of the people started doing it. It started out in New York, and then New York got hot. Then you walk down downtown San Francisco, they started doing it. Then the South came. I'm telling you, you just need 7% to understand what's going on.
And understand the truth.
That's all you need. That's all you need. You're always closer than you think you are, but it's always harder than you want it to be.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I got to jump off. Have a nice night. I'll holler at you folks later. I'll see you soon, okay?
Appreciate it, Grover. No, that was 100% facts, man. You guys got to realize that choice is power. It's a different form of power. Power comes in different forms, but choice is definitely part of it because it's connected to your will or free will. So you have free will, you have a certain level of power that comes with it. Okay. I've seen some comments over. You guys are saying, "Oh, don't worry about what the black women are doing, or don't worry about black men are doing." That's a stupid argument. Okay, we need to be worried. If you guys are other sex, we need to be worried about what y'all doing. We have to be worried about what y'all doing. It's so stupid and disingenuous to even say that kind of argument. And I see people who are using this argument all the time. Don't worry about black men, we're fine. Don't worry about black women, you are fine. No, we need to worry about each other because we need each other to get through the end of life. We need each other to create the next generation. We need each other, period. So if half makes a whole, but half and half is fucking up, well, we got to call each other out and hold the other half accountable. That's what needs to happen for the future of our civilization, our survival. The survival y'all like to complain about? No, this is real. Because if you don't know how to work with the other side, ain't no surviving going on for anybody. You're all going to die. That's just real. So you're saying worried about yourself, but the other side is fucking up. That's like you know how dumb that argument is saying? That's like seeing your friend who's always overdosing on opioids or heroin, right? They're overdosing or they're taking too much, and then him basically tell you, no, don't worry about me, worry about yourself. That's what it is. You know that's your best friend. They're gonna OD or something. They're gonna die, but they're making that kind of argument with you, and you know how dumb that is because you know the consequences. They keep heading that direction, and you'll be more of a piece of shit for not saying anything. You're not even gonna be a real friend. How are you supposed to be the real friend? You can't tell them when their lives fucking up. Different from a groupie. You got to call shit out on both sides, especially if the long-term consequences is going to affect both sides. So if the men are fucking up, women call it out, and men call it out. If the women are fucking up, women call it out, and the men should call it out. We're in this together. We're a team. I know society and other women out here have gotten y'all thinking that we're not, but we're a team. And we need to be. And working as a team, meaning there has to be a certain level of accountability. Because that's how a relationship works. Accountability. We take ownership. We take responsibility of certain things. So if you're saying worry about yourself, don't worry about me, and you know for a fact you're not doing the work to get done, or your group isn't doing the work to get done because your group isn't raising wives, your group isn't raising sons, especially if your group has majority of the kids most of the time, then we got a problem. Because that means you're basically saying that one side should basically be allowed to do whatever fuck they want, and the other side should just shut the fuck up. And that's not going to work in this society. That's not going to work in this new day. I don't give a fuck how many times you can say people should mind their own business. That's not going to happen. We here, we're going to talk about it, ain't gonna shit y'all going to do about it till change happens. We are going to hit that critical mass, and we are going to start forcing y'all, especially the few of y'all over here who are pushing back against this thing because you don't want to take accountability. We're going to force y'all to take responsibility now. It's a new day and age. Yep. It's not us physically. We don't have to physically do that. We have the power of choice. A lot of us are realizing that power of choice, and we're taking that. We have the different powers of finance, education. Like Grover said, the kind of knowledge that we didn't know back then. It's happening now.
Like minding your own business.
Still stand for that. That's done.
Minding your own business got us in this bullshit that we are right now.
That's done. Ain't nobody need to be minding. No. When it comes to the future of our civilization, we're not minding our own business. Nothing. Get that shit out of here. That's a bullshit argument to just say, no, focus on you while we do our own thing. But then y'all complain when your own thing doesn't work out for you. That's stupid. That's stupid. No. You have to understand that it's stupid. That is dumb. You can't just say worry about yourself, and then when we do, you guys are complaining because the decision that you made because we're worrying about yourself ain't working for y'all. That can't be our fault. But then now if we have to get blamed for it, Cynthia G, if we have to get blamed for it, then now we have to make it our problem. And now that it's our problem, who the fuck are you to tell us not to worry about it? Fuck all that. You lost that. You lost that responsibility the moment you gave up control. That's the moment you lost. The moment you gave up control to blame the men, that's the moment y'all lost responsibility. Now it's our responsibility. We're going to talk about it because you can't give up control and simultaneously say, no, we need to keep control while giving it up. If you can't control the situation, it's our shit now. And we got to take hold of it because y'all clearly are running this and not doing a good job of it. So miss me with that bullshit argument. I don't want to hear it. We need to be worried about each other because we're in it for the long haul. Especially now with modern technology, we're living longer than ever. So we need each other. Stop this bullshit. We ain't worried about ourselves. We got to worry about each other. Your sisters ain't going to be fine. Your sisters are going to be homeless in the next few years.
But she doesn't even believe that bullshit, bro. Because
it's crazy. Y'all don't realize the kind of debt you're in.
Yeah,
y'all the largest demographic, the largest holders of credit card debt, student loan debt, automotive debt. What are we talking about here? With no backup plan to pay any of this off. For the majority of y'all, the backup plan y'all have is a man. Like, how you gonna sit there and have us worry about ourselves and the backup plan y'all have is a man? Y'all getting yourself bumbling through our life, making these horrible decisions, getting yourself racking up all these damn debts because you ain't got no direction, and then you're gonna say, worry about yourself, but then turn around and blame the man for your shitty decisions. That's not how that works. That's not how reality works. Y'all are headed towards a position right now. Y'all not see it now, but it's going to get bad. You are the largest bag holders of debt. The only reason why you guys financially run the market right now because the United States economy is a debt-based economy. He who has the most debt wins. That's just what it is. In this case, it's the women. That's why y'all dominate because y'all willing to take out more debt to drive this bullshit economy.
Can you tell me the number, please?
Oh, I could pull it up, but it's billions of dollars.
No,
I think student loans.
No, for every dollar that's spent in this country, 76 cents is spent by a woman. So that's the reason why the government wants you to be alone by yourself.
Bro, the crazy thing is, I could tell you how many times where women have like had conversations because I got a buddy of mine that works in security, right? And in Madison right now, there's a homeless encampment that we used to have before the winter cleared all of them out. But it used to be a homeless encampment where there were a bunch of homeless women and men. And the one thing he would get complaints about the most is that the women who were also living in these homeless encampment that were homeless, which was a lot of them, he was surprised too. They were complaining about being sexually assaulted by the homeless men, and ain't nobody could do shit about that because they were locked in those, and I wouldn't say locked, but they were in those entrapments with those other men and didn't have the protections. No one was there to protect them. So a dude can literally just go up in their tent, have their way with them, and they can't do shit about them. You take it to the cops ain't gonna do nothing because they're gonna look at you as a homeless woman. And y'all don't see this reality. It happens. It's happening down the street from me. Down the street. There are homeless women being assaulted right now with no goddamn protections. And some of y'all women on social media don't believe that can happen. Make it make sense. You're living in a child's world if you don't believe that reality is waiting for y'all if you don't make the right decisions this moment. It's happening to women right now, living in tent cities that are here right now. These homeless dudes who are drugged up on opioids, they're forcing their ways into these tents where these women are and having their way with them. Because the women are in homeless situations due to the decisions they made in their lives. This is real. And this is a reality. If you don't plan, it's going to hurt you. And what's the biggest driver of that? Debt. Debt causes people to be stressed out. Stress causes people to use drugs. Drugs get people in a spiraling downhole that they can't come out of.
According to the chat, Dev is not bad at all. That girl Teresa M said that Dev is.
Teresa, you're either a troll. You're either a troll or you're an idiot. No, I like literally, you're either a troll or you're an idiot. Which either way, it's not good because there's almost 22% of women, damn near in this fucking on this platform. Highest women we've ever, like in entire manosphere space, we had that on this platform. So for you to pop out those disingenuous arguments that this kind of reality doesn't happen to women, even though I've freaking heard it and seen it. You tell me this doesn't happen, you are disingenuous to the women who are listening right now, and you are in the wrong place, frankly. So you need to admit that you're either disingenuous and you're being a troll, or you're an idiot. In this case, I think Cynthiag would accept you with open arms. I really think so. Because they'll buy all that stuff and believe nothing can happen to women. No, none of that. Get the fuck out of here with that. Like, women are out here, they're in real trouble. And unlike men that understand that that's a route that's waiting for them, a lot of y'all will be caught off guard.
She said I'm a sexist because I say she needs some love. She needs some love.
No. It's crazy, man. But this is a reality that is gonna be facing a lot of women. No, I don't care if you agree with me a lot or not. I don't want people to agree with me on this platform. Let me not catch one of y'all standboys over here. Nobody should be standboying on this platform at all. I don't support that whatsoever. You should disagree with me when you can, as long as it's logical. The problem with Teresa, your disagreements are stupid. They're dumb. They just perpetuate dumb culture. That's what it does. All right? You can't just then say that women can't be homeless when I'm seeing that happen right now. You can't say that women won't get violated when they're in those situations when that happens right now.
Yeah, that's fast.
There are women who are facing the consequences of poor decisions they made in their lives. There ain't shit you can do about that. There are women right now who are falling in the traps because of debt, and they're getting increasingly more and more debt as the time goes by. This is bad. Y'all are the biggest bag holders of debt. That's why most of y'all are begging for student loan forgiveness. Oh, forgive my loans after 10 years. You think that's going to fucking happen? The government can't even properly take care of you during a pandemic. You think 10 years from now, they're going to pay your student loans off. You're I can't even say you're stupid anymore. You're just I don't know what else to call you. Like you're literally incapable of seeing the bigger picture. That's what it is. And in that case, and you probably need to go over to Cynthiag's because then that argument applies. The fact that you're a child. That's a childish argument.
She's over there, bro. I'm pretty sure she is.
No, she's over there. She's one of the Cynthiag clones. It is what it is. People want to win argument, not work together to find solutions. Facts. That's facts, man. Like, I got no ego, man. I don't have. Listen, there's so many times on this platform when I'm wrong, I admit that I'm wrong. Like, literally, what is the harm in saying that I'm wrong? Like, what is going to happen to me for me to saying that I'm wrong, admitting that I'm wrong? What is wrong with me admitting that maybe I don't think I'm a great father? Maybe I need to work harder. Maybe I don't think my best is good enough. What is wrong in that? What is wrong in admitting the fact that I failed? What's wrong with that? A lot of us just want to win. And we get to see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is knowledge and understanding. Because if you fail, comes knowledge with the understanding that you can do better as long as you can pick yourself up. There's nothing wrong with that. But everyone wants to win an argument than to actually find solutions. Because to win an argument is easy. Because all you're doing is trying to talk about problems, and your problems outdo each other. Problems are easy to talk about. Solutions are hard.
But you know what's crazy, dude? I just thought about this. You know, like some of these red pill guys are so string and shit like that. they be like, "Oh my God, I'm going overseas to go get me a wife,"
The
right?
travel brothers. I don't agree with them.
Yeah. We were talking about it earlier in the group, right? Check this out. But you never. I mean, me personally, I haven't heard those guys say black women should abort black little girls and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? I never heard them say that.
Yeah.
At least. You see what I'm saying? You know what they say? I want to go to overseas to go get me a wife. Why don't these girls that follow cynthiag, did they really true to themselves, go overseas and find a husband then? Why don't you do that?
Some of these black women right now, you see them, they're clowning Filipino ladies, because a lot of Filipinas are dating black men now. Right, they're dating black men in large numbers, and right now they're coming at a lot of these Filipino women, you know, and they're coming at all the, oh, you guys are going in there, you're dealing with these little girls overseas and whatnot. It's like, listen, y'all are incapable of seeing the bigger picture. That bigger picture is that black man you complain about is still getting married. It's just a woman that looks different from you, a woman from a different culture. They still getting married, and you not. You're watching them get married to women from cultural groups that support that. So instead of you emulating that same behavior to keep your black man over here.
Can hear you. Can hear you, boy. Can hear you. Can hear you. You mute. I can't hear you. You do. Hey, you are mute. You are mute.
I was talking so crazy, couldn't even know my mic was out.
I know, man.
But
you was laughing, man.
These women, these women in Brazil, these men going to Brazil, going to Dominican Republic, all these different places are complaining that these different women are taking them for a loop, taking them for a ride. It's like, no shit, dumbass. Female nature is different. It's the same thing no matter where you go, just different degrees. That doesn't change. If you're going overseas to trick, you're going overseas to go find a treat, you're gonna get tricked. That's just how it works. If you don't learn how women deal with men here today, and you thinking going overseas to find you a treat is going to work out, you're going to get tricked. All these dudes getting tricked. They're getting tricked out there right now, either for their lives or for their wallets. You just don't realize it. So stop running away from your problems. Learn how to deal with women there. But if you actually go overseas to find your wife, that's a different story. Because that means you're legacy-minded and you're not finding wife material here. That's just what it is. So we can make that distinction. We can easily make that distinction. But don't sit here and clown other dudes for going overseas to find wives while you're not wife material yourself. It make sense.
But look, my solution is simple, bro. My solution is, why don't you follow their footsteps? You say black men and shit, that's fine. Why don't you take your ass to Russian or Philippine or China, whatever it is, and find a husband out there? And instead of saying abort black babies, I think I wouldn't have no problems with you, but if you go over there, and instead of saying abort black baby, that's crazy right there. You see what I'm saying? That's what I was gonna say. At least those guys don't say that crazy shit.
Black women are doing that. Not in droves, not to the majority of numbers that black women would like to do that, but black women are going overseas and married interracially. I know Nigerian women that go overseas and marry interracially. A lot of women are doing that, but it's not to the same numbers as black men. And the reason why is just a matter of options and choice. Men of other racial groups have different options than women, black women. Let's just be real. Now we have to point out another uncomfortable truth. Black women don't have that many choices. Let's just be real. That's why that lady in Cynthia G's stream was just like, well, you know, black men know that we're gonna have to deal with them anyways. Y'all know the overwhelming amount of men that are gonna be dealing with you are black men. It's just not gonna be the good black men that you want, but they're gonna be black men dealing with you. They're not. I don't see Arab dudes coming over in droves to deal with black women. I don't see white dudes coming over in droves. They do that, but they're not to the same level. It's not. None of it's to the same level. Look at all these different dating apps. You see where black women are ranked. And it's not because of them individually. It's just them as a collective because of the imaging. So y'all don't have that many options. I would say even a few minority of them can pull it off. right?
Yes.
The Bernice Burgos of the world, the Lori Harveys of the world, right? They can pull it off. They can go to different groups. That's fine. The Rihannas of the world, right? Rihanna married an Arab billionaire. So they can do it. Halle Berry's of the world, right? Those ways you can do that. But those ladies have a certain amount of look and style to them that helps them pull it off. The average ladies don't have that, and they'll never possess that, ever. So you're not going to be at that level. But y'all date out. Y'all just don't have it in mass numbers. If y'all did, this wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, and that's true. And I don't think white men is like making a line to date black women like that. To be honest with you, I know white boys that be like, I don't think so, man. I'd rather deal with my white guy, with my white girls. I'm telling you, man.
Classic Ruby. You're proving my point. You're proving my point. In the end, it comes down to a matter of choice. All right. Every black woman I know had options to date and marry men of other races. They just didn't want to. They wanted the black family, black church at the end of the day. So it's a matter of choice. Then why, if this is what women want, why are we seeing the opposite? Why are we seeing less black families? Why are we seeing women coming out talking about black babies? It comes down to a matter of choice. And we're not choosing properly. What this tells me is black women who had the option to date marry men of other races aren't choosing the right black men to start the right families with. That's what it tells me, because this shouldn't be an issue. If you know women have the options that they have, and women know that they have the options they have, we wouldn't have the issue that we have right this second. We would see a lot of women dating out right now in the same numbers black men are dating out without complaints or issues. We would see that right this second. And I know sisters have options. I know that. But then again, it comes down to choice.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I disagree with that one.
Here's the thing. I agree. I agree that women. There's certain black women that have the options, and they're like certain sisters that have a certain
real
look,
small.
All right, but the vast majority of black women that don't have that particular look don't have the option.
Exactly.
I mean, just be real. I mean, they'll be pumped and dumped by black dudes, by other not black dudes, but other racial groups. But they're not gonna have. They don't have that choice, because they did. Zaddies would be the new thing, and Zaddies, they ain't going after sisters like that. I'm just gonna be real. It's just not how that works. It's the other way around. It's the other women of racial groups coming over here.
Now that's a higher clip.
That's the problem.
Now that's the higher clip right there. See, man, and that's come down to this, man. It's just like, and that's what is the problem. Like, black women want to compete with black men like neck to neck. Like, they wants to be complete equal to a man. You see what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to take a step back and follow the man's lead. They want to be neck to neck, yo. You see what I'm saying? Like, in that's what they start saying, this bullshit now. Like, oh yeah, we can equally date on other races. Which, yeah, they will fuck you. Yeah, good luck when they bring you. Think they're gonna bring you to their families? I don't think so, baby. But okay, you can go ahead and believe that.
And I think part of to solve some of the issues, we also gotta do that with that problem too, where women have to differentiate between when a man wants sex versus when a man wants love, because I think that they conflate both things as a man wanting them. Right, you can't. Women are not differentiating the difference between sex and love. Overwhelmingly, men want sex from women. All right, but very few men will want love after that, because you have to be able to provide something other than the box for a man to love you, especially a good, valuable man. A great value man would love you just for giving him the box, but that's not real, because you just give him the box, so it's sex based.
Yo,
but a real man would love you for more than that, because as soon as he gets a box, he's got to know what else is it. A box come a dime a dozen to a real man. Box comes a dozen. But what comes after the box was what matters. And a lot of y'all ladies, most of them, right, that don't get wifed up. The reason why you don't get wifed up is because you believe that you don't need to bring anything else aside from the box.
That Teresa girl is going on fire, boy.
No, she talking crazy. She's a Cynthiag clone. That's just what it is, which is fine. I welcome that in the chat, because it makes for good discussion.
It is funny,
but ultimately, the when you bring it to reality, reality doesn't match up with what you say. Cynthiag, your reality doesn't match up with what you say. I'm sorry. I don't care how many times you try to make it make sense. It just doesn't make sense because that's not how reality works. So, I mean, I think this is an interesting discussion. Cynthiag definitely made it on the dukendon radar. So we're going to definitely be clowning your ass and we're going in. Listen, we going to be respectful about it. Because I'm not once called you out your name. I'm not once. The only thing I've called you is a clown and you dumb because your arguments are clownish and stupid. So we're going to keep it to the arguments, but you need to understand that what you're saying, the ideology you're saying is toxic. And it's no different from some of these hardliners right over here saying the exact same thing about women. And you would be pissed off if they say things about women. And you're actually the kind of group of women that these manosphere dudes, when I hear them talk about women, I hate it. The reason why is because they're giving energy to women like you. To give you energy to talk about. That's all it is. That's why I say stop giving these type of women power. Because when they love to hear when a black man complains about black women. These are the kind of women right here that love that shit. They love it because they use it as content. What really scares them are the black men that don't talk about it but just do it. That's the one that you see them complaining about on social media. The real ones with value that just do it. They don't complain. You see them pop out with a Latina girl. You see them pop out with a white bitch. You see them pop out with a Brazilian. You see it pop out with any other color aside from black sister. And y'all the same one to go on social media, your little clubhouse rooms, your little Facebook group and complain. Because you know those guys, they weren't out there in the same group of dudes you're over here shaming that are complaining. They're not in those groups. They're guys who actually live in the real world and they're making those changes without telling y'all. And when y'all find out, y'all get mad. Because that's the truth. You love the guys that complain because they give you power. That's what I'm telling you, great value males out there. Stop talking about these women like that. Stop making every conversation about them because these are the women you're empowering, the cynthiag clubs. That's who you're empowering. They love it when a black man complains about a black woman in black relationships because it fuels everything. It validates everything. It gives them the power they need to keep clowning y'all, to keep this messaging up. Because all they can do is turn on and say, hey, look, dumb dudes are complaining about us. Look at them. All they do is sit there and complain about black women all day. And they're not even the same guys that we would want to submit to. And they're right. They're absolutely right, fellas. They're right. Because the more you complain about these things, the more you talk about black women this, black women that, the more power you give them. So they have every right to tell you that you're losers. But the men that they're worried about are the men that are going out there and doing their thing without even having to talk about it. Oh, you're a queen? Oh, you're... Okay, let me go ahead and get this Filipino over here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, let me show how much of a queen you are. I'm gonna shower her with all love. You talk about building black family. Get that shit out of here, man. There's too much. There's too much. And we got to come at the heart of the rut. We have to. And that starts with the way of thinking. But anyways, Bobby, you got something to say while we close out?
It's pretty sure this is gonna be they're gonna be coming around a little bit more often with these crazy ass ideas and shit like that.
And we gonna be covering it, baby. That's just how it works.
It's just more fuckery, bro. Like I said, man, earlier, I don't believe that Cynthiag lady actually believed that bullshit, bro. I hope I'm right that she just trying to sell a product, whatever she's trying to sell, dude. Trying to get some super chats or something. Because she got a black kid, bro. Like, that's it, yo. Like, are you gonna teach your? I wonder what the kid is. If it is a boy or a girl, like, you wanna teach your kid that, yo? If it is a boy, I feel sorry for the little boy. Jesus Christ, like,
yeah, no, that's facts, man.
I mean,
a lot of women just got to be cognizant because I think women just say things and do things now in society without really having to really think about the consequences that has to come with a lot of these decisions. And I think we got to start reminding them, whether it's OnlyFans and selling your body online, especially if you have kids, that's something that's going to basically haunt you. Not only it's going to haunt you in the form of your kids, whether it's how you're talking about the baby daddies when the daddy's not around in front of the kids. You guys don't realize that the kid's going to grow up and have resentment against you. I had that happen in my household too. When I was like growing up, I hear my mother talk bad about my father, man. I'm like, well, I love that guy. So does that make me an asshole? And growing up, it made me grow resentment towards her for having to talk to him like that, right? I not only grow resentment for my father because he wasn't here, so it made me believe that some of the elements he was saying was true. But other than that, and aside from that, it made me grow resentment from her because then I'm like, why are you talking about shit about a dude that he's my dad at the end of the day? You guys don't realize this, man. You are creating. You're becoming the architects of your own destruction, and we have to stop that by going at the mentality, bruh.
Yeah,
And that's what this is all about. So we're gonna keep talking about this. We're gonna keep doing all this stuff and having these conversations because it is important. And self-awareness in 2022, folks. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. Men and women alike, we're gonna be talking about it. All right, ladies, sisters, I love you. I love all our sisters. I love all that. But we gotta be real with y'all. You gotta understand this is coming from a place of love, not a place of hatred, like some of these other dudes. We love y'all, but y'all capping sometimes. So let's catch us on tomorrow's video, tomorrow's live, tomorrow morning. We're going to be talking about some crazy shit. All right, you definitely don't want to miss that episode. Hey, DJ Academics calling out Kevin Samuels. Oh, shit. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow morning, too. And we may actually have a great value stream later that night, too, as well, man. We're probably going to talk about money, politics, or finance. We don't know, but you look out for the thumbnail. With that being said, we'll catch you guys on the next video, next live. If you don't want to miss that, hit the bell notification, hit the like button on the video, and the sub button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.